Ladies and gentlemen of the congregation. I love the jiggly. Hold on. In case you haven't had a proper workout, let's loosen it up. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Get loosey goosey.
It's actually fun. I came from the gym earlier.
All right.
I'm ready for it.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Ready?
All
right.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen of the congregation. There we go. Praise be.
Praise Osseous. Yes.
Praise
Osseous.
Osseous. Yes.
Where's I got you.
That was yesterday. Praise Arceus was yesterday. Today it's Rebirth.
I got you.
Hey,
Yeah.
I am still the
No.
shit, what is it? What's the word? I forgot the word. No. What is the word?
No.
Oh. Okay. Well, he's
Minister.
figuring out the word,
God.
which is not the bird for the
Minister of
record.
Archaeology.
Hey, no.
Oh, archaeology. There we go.
I have a new god. Her name is Queen Sonia.
Is it thighs?
I have a new god. Her name is Queen Sonia.
Oh, okay.
And I have her signature.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
Unlike your god, mine is real.
Well, I have a new memory today because my 4-year-old nephew played it for the first time. Kirby's in the Forgotten Land.
Yeah.
And he did the emote
core
where
memory.
Kirby waved at him and he waved back, and it was really sweet. And it was first time he ever used a controller. And I sent that to his mom, and he's like, he's gonna remember that forever. And now you're all gonna remember it forever because it's all gonna be archived on this stream.
So now to interrupt that wholesome moment with blood and violence.
Yes, the biggest
Yay.
Brought to you by
My
Slime
favorite.
Time. Yeah. So, I hope you guys, by the way, guys, coming up very, very soon, we have One Piece Alabasta Abridged movie coming up to the channel. But if you can't wait for it, it's up on Patreon right now for every patron. And if you want to check it out, you can right now. It's up for $1 and above. So if you just come and join our Patreon, you can check it out right now. Highly encourage you to do that.
Such a steal. How much do you have to pay for the movies normally? What's the normal price?
Yeah, right? Fucking, you want to go check out the movies.
Like, what, $12 for a movie?
Oh, no, way more than that.
I mean, my theater, maybe.
No. At your average movie theater? Fucking, are you kidding?
Go check that.
It's like way more than that.
I need to-
Anyhow.
Let me actually hold on. Let me go to like.
No,
the website for
dude,
my
we
theater.
don't. Stop. We can't make a day out of this. Stop.
We're not making a damn. I just want to
No.
check real quick. I want to fact check my own theater. Real quick.
We don't have time. We need to get to reading.
What do you mean we don't have time?
We
know
need
what
to get
Jesus
to
is.
reading. We can't make this like last week.
Last week was our first week back.
We
for
have to let
months.
Shim. We have to let Shim do his shimming thing.
Let the shim.
Let the shim shimmy
Okay.
shim shimmity shim shim shiroo.
Oh, I remember.
I sure love and fancy free.
Two of the three members of this call got a very long-winded paragraph from me this weekend.
Oh, yes.
I had a brilliant shower thought, or at least I thought I had a brilliant shower thought. It seems
was
these
it?
two did
It
not
was nice.
necessarily disagree with me, and then I had to explain it. I had to kind of explain it to Tony today because he was a little confused on it, and then he was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that seems okay." And I was like, I had to kind of like dodge around it a little bit because I had to be like, okay, so how do I explain this without explaining the fact that the point in time in which I'm talking about is basically like season 5 or 6 of Slime. Because he's in anime only, so he's only at season 2. Yeah,
Which is
he pays no attention to our light novel streams at all. I'm very
I've
aware
actually
of
mentioned,
this.
Like, I remember when I mentioned Palpy to the Valley with him, and he's like, "Who?"
Yeah,
How dare you? How dare? Yeah, that's right,
What do
Tony.
you
I'm
mean,
calling you
who?
out.
Only,
You're
like,
probably
one of
not
the most
watching
popular
this.
characters we've
People
ever
in the
created.
chats call him out for me.
Of all time.
For
listen,
real.
listen to the menu and
I'm out
start
to you
reading.
on
Right?
all Twitch.
Thank
You're gonna
you.
be so
Thank you.
embarrassed, Tony.
Also, guys, just letting you know there will be more content coming up on Twitch soon, so keep an eye on that and keep some eyeballs out on that. Especially, we may get more Monday content coming soon. I already have 2 days on Monday, so I'm not. For those of you who are requesting menu Mondays, probably not happening. Probably not I'm way too busy. I've got like, I can't even tell you how many projects I'm working on right now. And like, seriously, after Slime 9 is done, the amount of projects that I'm working on, that I am working on as like, not just as a director or a producer or like, but just as an actor and a writer and stuff like that. Like, I've got stuff that I'm working on as an editor now that I have to work on. So it's like, yeah, man, I've got things that I'm working on. I've got a lot of responsibilities in Fat Dog.
Don't worry, you'll be back.
I will be back, but like, I don't have a lot of time to do all the things I'd like to do.
I wish we had like a purple guy soundboard thing where he's like, I always come back.
Stop.
Give me a second.
No soundboards.
No.
No soundboard. No soundboard.
That's it.
Banned.
That's all I was going to do. I wasn't going to do
soundboards have been banned. Soundboards have been banned. I'm saying it right now. Saying it in advance. Looking at you, Sonic. Soundboards have been banned.
I wish I had Nitro right
So
now.
bad.
But oh, well.
I want to do it now.
Oh, man. Okay. Oh, okay. That's what's going on. I'm wondering why my sound is cutting out. It's because I keep rolling over this stupid thing.
Oh, yeah, probably should not do that.
Yeah, probably
that's
not a.
good.
Dump that to the side.
I damaged
or, like,
my good headphones a little bit like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
too.
yeah.
It's not fun.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's not. It's
wireless
not. All right, so
headphones.
I'm crazy busy, so no menu Mondays. I'm sorry. You get me on light novels. You get me on Anime Church right now. I may be jumping in and on other people's streams and helping them out with stuff if they request me on. I will do what I can, and I also have my own channel. I'll try and show up when I can over there.
Yes.
I will do my best. I will try.
Mm-hmm.
I will try. And I'm also going to be coming in as much as I can on Fan Fridays. So I'll be jumping in from time to time, possibly every other week for Fan Friday. They're still going to be doing Fantasy Friday stuff every other Friday for Baldur's Gate 3 stuff on Fantasy Friday. But
I thought Fan Friday was like every other week.
apparently it is, and I'm now in charge of it or something. Or maybe I won't be.
Or
It-
something.
again or something. I don't
I
know.
thought it was Dogger who was
Dogger.
in charge of that.
Dogger.
Dogger, yeah.
Well, not
Dogger.
necessarily. We could be passing it back and forth like hot potato.
Yeah, different hosts. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hot potato. It's your week. You know,
Richie, catch!
Tony was under the impression that the Minecraft server was down and no longer available because I hadn't bothered him about it. And I'm like, oh no, it's still up. I'm still paying for it. It's there.
It's just you.
I've just been busy being homeless. So I've had other concerns.
There have been, other priorities going on.
I mean, if you want, if you want, man, like it's still going. You could have like had that going. It's very much around.
Could have tagged you on those payments, but
Yeah,
fine.
I mean, you're welcome. to
Reimbursement's a thing, maybe.
Cathedral finished?
Huh?
Is the cathedral finished yet?
I don't know.
I think it's
I think it has been for a while. Well, I don't know what the back of it is, but like the inside and everything has been for a while. You're welcome to check it
at
out.
least since
I
spring.
mean, we could just pull a green and not finish the back. Does anyone even get that reference?
No,
No.
no, it's lost on me.
Watch Minecraft YouTubers, damn it.
Okay.
I always finish her back.
People, comments, tell us if we finished the cathedral or not.
Right.
I know I worked on it a little bit. I don't know.
The booty,
I haven't
the
been on it
booty,
in a while.
the booty. All right, for those of you not understanding what we're talking about, we literally built the Log Horizon. We literally built the cathedral from Log Horizon and it's literally the spawn point in our Minecraft server. So when you die,
It's
you
huge.
you respawn in the cathedral, and you literally have menu just taunting you.
Yep.
You're welcome. You're fucking welcome. You fucking Dave.
Oh, look at that. You died again.
Oh, look at that. You died again. How's it feel to be Dave? All right. Oh, look, it's the Holy Book of Dave.
Back to Dave.
Been demoted back to Dave. All right.
Every
so,
level you get beyond it is you're slightly one level away.
All
from
right.
Dave.
So for those of you who
Dave
missed it, it's 85% done. All right. Good to know. It's still cooking. Good. We need to put it back in the oven. Let it cook. Let it cook.
We're
All
cooking
right.
it.
Let it cook.
Anyway.
Got to get a kitchen in there.
Anyway. That having been said,
Yes.
we're gonna go ahead and open up our holy books of Remerism because I already did the intro thing.
Yeah,
so
we already shook and
And it was very good.
loosened
It was
up and
it was
whatnot.
very good. We're gonna open up our.
Take a look in a book. It's time for slime, guys.
Yes.
You know what? I'll take it.
Reading Rimuru or
I'll take
Rimuru
it.
Rainbow.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Reading Rimuru. I don't know.
Open your holy books of Remerism.
Take a
Butter
book.
slime in the
If you're
sky.
a butter slime.
I never
God
watched
damn
Reading
it.
Rainbow. So
Yeah.
How
Actually, did not
dare
like
you?
it.
I can read twice the slime.
I did not like Reading Rainbow.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What?
What is your problem?
It's awesome
out.
though.
What was
It
your
was
childhood
not.
like?
A guy
it was
reads
not
a book.
I didn't care for it when I was a little kid of 6.
You were
I don't
probably-
remember how old
You
I
know
was.
what? That actually explains your reading comprehension skills.
It dude.
Damn. Richie going right for the throat
I didn't like
again.
the intro song, so I never
Hey.
watched it.
Sonic, I'm gonna let you borrow some of my aloe vera because you might need it for that burn.
Oh damn.
Oh, Malavera.
Did you at least watch the big comfy couch?
I mean, you're gonna need a
This will
sensu
be
for
a
that
redeeming
one.
factor.
I have no idea what that is.
You don't know
Oh,
the
I'm
big
sad.
comfy couch?
I love big comfy couch.
Come
It's great.
on!
It had like
That's
a
my whole
clown
reason for
girl.
loving clowns, honestly.
I
Have to do that.
remember Little Einstein. I
Yep.
remember Sesame Street, Teletubbies, Dora, Diego.
Did you watch the Backyardigans?
Oh yes, I did.
That
watch
would be
Backyard.
that would be within
Okay,
your
good.
age thing.
Yeah,
probably.
that would have been at the
Your
time.
age
That was at the
range.
time.
Mhm.
Early on, we didn't have much. Like after like noon,
Mm.
the programs I cared for just were done. It's
I
like,
would-
okay, and then the
I
rest
would
of the day,
tell you
like,
to get
I'm
a clue.
bored.
I would tell you to get a clue, but I already know that you're colorblind, so yeah.
Dang. Yeah.
Damn.
Mhm.
Blue's Clues reference. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, forgot about Blue's
Yeah.
Clues.
Hell
That
yeah.
was another one.
I could have met him. He was there. Steve was at one of the cons that I went to, and I saw him from a distance, but the line for him was like out the door.
Damn.
So I was like, man, that would have been
I
cool to
think
see
I-
him.
After your childhood,
Steve.
bro. Come on, man. Sesame
Yeah.
Street has been around since the 70s, bro.
Mhm.
Sesamo Stret. Yeah.
It's
it's
been
still
out
going.
long enough that me as a kid have watched it all the way to now. My nephew, who is 4, is watching it. Weird.
Sir,
Yeah.
Fun
sir,
fact. No, there's
That
like
shit's
a
awesome.
Sir,
I love
version
Sesame
of
Sir,
Street.
that?
I was watching Sesame Street as a kid.
Yeah. Okay, so
Mhm.
from you now to like at 40 years old,
Let me put it
rewind
this
how
way.
many
Let me
years
put it this
back.
way. Let me put it this way. I'm older than Elmo. Elmo did not exist.
Wow.
Elmo did not exist
Oh,
when I was a kid.
That's wild. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know there's an Elmo, like a Mecha Elmo now?
Oh, fucking
Mecha
hell.
That
Elmo.
doesn't surprise
That's
me.
It's
awesome.
like
I'm just saying the best thing that
him,
ever happened.
Cookie Monster,
the best
and one
thing,
other character
the
are
best
like
thing to
just
ever
kind of
have,
mech
the
versions.
best thing to ever have come out of Sesame Street was the Count censored. That was the best thing to ever have come out.
You know
Oh,
that I
Really
told
loud,
the
the
cow.
because
Because
haven't watched
I
that.
really
like
like
to.
Love-
I fucking
Yeah.
love it.
I love
It's
it.
great. All right. That having been said, though, guys, it is time to read.
Read some slime.
And it is time for the shim.
The Shem Show.
The shim show. Yep,
the-
it's the,
The
it's-
science show.
no, what the
Get
fuck?
Oh man,
Whose idea was this?
I do like Science.
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 Yeah.
Yeah, Science.
Shem Shy, the Science guy.
Yeah.
Son,
Yeah.
I'm built like a Bond villain, and there's someone
I
around
wasn't
here
so
that
sure
talks like
about it, but
Sean
I made it
Connery.
work. I pulled it
Shit
through
is
the end.
about to
Yeah.
go down.
Yep. That's before I do my finisher from the top row.
Shim is about to go down. Shem is about to go down.
Shim is about
Oh,
to
he's gonna
go
do
down.
the Shem Schlammer.
The sh-
So yeah, oh no, that's one of
From
those
the top
that's
rope.
Always, That's got to be one of Solway's like signature finisher moves.
When
Shem down. Shem's about to come down.
No. When
Shem
afterwards when you walk away, it's called the Shem slink.
The Shem Schlink.
The Shem slink.
Yeah.
You slink away. Yep.
And when you're really cold, it's called the Shem Shrink.
Yeah.
And if you ever pass gas, it's the Shem Stink.
Oh my god.
Shem Stink. No, it's the Shem Stink. So it's fine.
When you wash your hands, you use the Shem Sink.
The Shem Stink. Yes.
Can we do one with soap? I got nothing for soap.
You can't start things.
You can't make. I don't know if you can fuse Shem and soap together. It doesn't work.
Shulk.
This is turning into the food episode all over again, isn't it?
Yes.
How about Shulk? You like Shulk there, Shem?
Shulk, like from Xenoblade Chronicles?
I'd say I'm getting
I was
pretty
thinking
full of
Zelda, but you know what?
Oh. Yeah, I like both.
Stop it.
That works. Okay, I'll stop it.
Stop it.
Just for you, Shritchy. Yeah.
I hate all of you.
And Shmoon.
Stop it.
Shanik.
Shanik. Oh yeah, I forgot
It actually works
try it.
better.
I'm thinking my real name.
It actually works
try to
better
make
with
a joke with my
it
name.
actually
Ah,
works
damn it.
better with Shanik.
Damn
It actually works
screen
better.
name.
It actually works better with Shanik because it sounds like you're Peter Griffin. Shanik.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Like, haha, you can't make a joke about my name, and I realize everybody.
Hey, Lois.
Oh yeah, they
yes.
could.
Ah, shit.
Shanik. Ah, shit.
It would not be hard. Anyone could make jokes off anything.
Oh, it's hard.
It's
Peter.
real easy to
Are
make
you
jokes about
Sonic
my
the
name when you think about it.
Shmoon.
Yeah.
To the moon with you, Moon.
Schmoon.
Nah, man.
Yes.
If you're trying to aim for the jugular, just look at the way the name is. It follows a particular naming convention. So.
A particular
Twilight
gaming thingy.
Sparkles.
Why? Because you're a butt.
Nah, yeah. That's funny. I thought that was funny.
Oh man.
Yeah. That's okay, Moon. You're always the butt of everyone's jokes.
Always have been, always will be.
Shiny.
But you know, they say you are what you eat, and is that really such a bad thing?
That explains the cheesiness of your personality.
My
Listen,
favorite
I'm
flavor
not
is
saying Kraft
assorted.
macaroni and cheese is my spirit animal. I'm just saying I might
It's
have a
your
couple thousand
spirit
boxes.
animal.
It does explain why the moon is made of cheese.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And there's a man in it. So.
I have also that also explains the nickname Crater Face.
Oh, damn.
Listen.
Question: did you
High
have a
school
lot?
was
Did
a
you,
rough time for me. Okay?
yeah, puberty. I was gonna ask. Did you get
Yeah.
a lot
Richie
of
going for
craters when
everyone's
you were
throat, too.
puberty?
Bro, when is high school gonna end?
High school never ends.
The whole damn world is just as obsessed with who's the
You
best.
mean to
best,
tell
who's
me
having
that school's
sex.
out forever was a
Clearly-
lie?
Clearly, Moon cannot be a vegetarian. He's surrounded by meteors.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Meat eaters.
Meteors.
Yeah.
Any updates on
What about
posting
Shem
VODs
eaters?
on the Light Novel channel?
That's a good question.
Here's the thing. I've been homeless for the last several months, so as far as updates go,
We know there is definitely one episode missing.
we know there's one episode missing. There are episodes on the Light Novel channel, and since it's been months that I've not been able to be connected to the internet, I forgot the fucking password.
Woo!
Yeehaw.
Damn,
So,
Mr. Brick.
It'll happen eventually.
Once I
But-
remember the
Figure it
password
out.
and can access the channel again, I will update the VODs from private to public, and you're gonna see a shit ton of VODs just suddenly go public. Because
Yeah,
there's a lot of them. We're only missing one VOD.
So we have to search through hundreds of hours. Probably not
No.
really, but
No,
because it's gone. The
it's just gone. There's a
yeah.
Twitch
there's
will only hold it for so long.
is the
Isn't
password
it like
one-
30 days?
Is the password
I thought it was
1, 2,
2
3,
weeks.
4,
but I
5?
heard otherwise. Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
One, two, three.
That's
Guys,
the same
guys.
as my luggage.
Guys, is the password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? What do you think my name is? What do you think my name is? President Scroob?
Scroob.
You don't get a name like Richie
See?
Rich and have a password that simple.
First off, do you think
your
I would have
bank
been?
account,
Do you think I would have ever been homeless if my name was actually Richie Rich? I am Richie motherfucking
God, that
poor.
was so funny.
Oh,
And, it's more like
Speaking of which, if you would like to donate
Where
to the
Richie
POM
at?
Richie Rich
Foundation,
Int.
speaking of which, if you would like to donate to the POM Foundation,
We gotta make this man rich.
If you would, hush, I'm trying to shill myself. Be quiet right
Trying to
now.
sell my soul
Yeah.
here.
If you would like to donate to the POM Foundation, my Twitch channel is RichieRoberts16. Twitch.tv/RichieRoberts16. You can donate there. What is the POM Foundation? I'm glad you didn't ask. It stands for Poor Old Me.
oh, I was gonna say
Oh,
piece of
room!
man.
hold on.
No, poor old
Revan,
me.
what is Revan referring to? Which crime is that?
This moon has not committed the one crime that fell has yet.
I know it ain't Turrent.
No,
I've
it's
committed
the
that
other
one a ton.
No,
had
it's the other one.
If
It's the
only
other
I
one.
could
It's
pull
there's
it up.
Another one?
There is, and I'm not saying what it is.
Ooh, that bad, huh?
Yeah. Well, no, I'm guilty of it, but it's on accident. It's not on purpose. And I've corrected myself when I've caught myself. Anyway, let's start
Yeah.
the fucking show.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Shim, get us started,
okay.
please.
Where are we?
Okay.
All right, so
and-
page 182 for those of you reading along with me in the physical version. Shim, on your version, which I believe is Kindle, right?
Yeah, it's Kindle.
Okay.
Page 209 or 46% of the way through the book.
Okay.
It depends on how big your window is, but about that area.
Okay.
You just have to look for in one of the deepest rooms of the labyrinth. That's
And
really it, because it has a
moon?
search feature.
On Bookwalker, you're looking at page 199.
Okay. All right. Now that we've stated kind of ish where you should be,
Give or take.
please look for the words in one of the deepest rooms of the labyrinth, because that's where we're at. There should
Yep.
be a nice big black dot right above it.
Just
I love a BBD.
all right. Yeah.
That's racist.
Oh. Yeah.
A big black dick. That's what he said.
Sure.
Oh. Big black dragon.
A big black dragon.
A big black moon and a big black shim.
Okay.
Man.
That's really racist. Okay.
There's only one
So-
problem.
I don't know if
That
you
you're yellow
noticed
as hell?
that. I mean,
Yeah. I am very Twinkie like, so
hey, you heard it here, folks. Shim is a twink.
No, he said Twinkie. Twinkie. There's a difference.
I do squats, so I mean, hey,
Hey,
you know.
got that cake?
Oh my god.
Maybe.
I have to go.
I'm sorry.
I have to go. I have to go to the gym tomorrow, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get stronger.
I have to go to Planet Fitness tomorrow and work out. Yeah.
The entire
Alright.
planet's electricity runs on treadmill power.
No. No, I do not.
We would not nearly have the whatever it is. Fucking. what's it
Not
called?
on Planet Treadmill, fuck.
Planet
On a
Fitness.
treadmill.
Planet Fitness, they won't.
Oh my god. Anyway, moving
I'm thinking
on.
Rick and Morty, but I
Yes.
messed up.
Hey, let's read.
Freaking
Let's
weird.
let's read. Let's read.
Okay, excuse me.
One of the
All right. So, in one of the deepest rooms of the labyrinth, there exists a secret conference room not even Rimuru knows about. Gathered within its vast confines were the rulers of the maze, people who usually didn't come together very much. The fact that they were all here right now indicated just how vital they considered the topic of discussion. Some more ellipses. The meeting was chaired by Beretta, Ramirez's aide, representative, gopher, and general manager of Labyrinth Affairs. Seated in the four cardinal directions were the labyrinth's four archdragons: the Fire Dragon Lord, Frost Dragon Lord, Wind Dragon Lord, and Earth Dragon Lord. In the middle of was a round ebony table currently seating the following individuals: Ninehead Kamara, guardian of floor 90; Insect Kaiser Zegian, guardian of floor 80; Insect Queen Apito, boss of floor 79; Immortal King Adelman, guardian of floor 70; Death Paladin Alberto, Adelman's advanced guard on floor 70; These comprised the so-called 10 dungeon marvels, and they were joined by 3 others. Ghidorah, the old sharp-eyed wizard, was seated next to Adelman. Meanwhile, Bovix and Equix, co-guardians of Floor 50, sat huddled at one lonely corner of the table, aware of just how much they stood out among all these titans. They both once thought they could beat any opponent who came their way, but now, seeing the very pinnacle of the labyrinth before them, they realized just how stark the difference was. It made them squirm. It makes me sad.
Yeah.
Power creep is very real.
Oh yeah.
Like someone.
Yeah.
Oh, Silver Wolf Fire! Thank
Hello.
you so much for the
Hi.
follow.
Welcome aboard.
Enjoy your nibbles.
Welcome to the madness.
Yes.
Yeah, tis nibbles.
Nibbles.
Nibblies.
It made them squirm uncomfortably in their seats, but that wasn't the only reason they were cowering a bit. The real reason, everyone in this chamber had a bad habit of incessantly squabbling over who was the strongest among themselves. They were clashing over the issue now, in fact, weighing down the very atmosphere as if it were warped apart by some strange force. Ghidorah, despite being the new kid on the block, was an active participant in the debate, making Bovix and Equix realize all the more exactly how they stacked up by comparison. As they saw it, sub-foes were just too insurmountable to ever beat. And given that these were 2 former rivals who fought each other for a literal century, it showed just how much of a presence Ghidorah struck around here. Beretta and the Dragon Lords didn't join in this competition, but they had no motivation to stop it. If that was what they liked doing, then fine was their attitude. And whether they intended to or not, that only spurred the debate over who was strongest among the 10 marvels. Adelman's promotion in floor rank, following direct praise from Rimuru, was still fresh in everyone's minds. It instilled a new enthusiasm in everyone present, all of them believing they were the most useful among the Guardians. This was especially true among the marvels tending the deeper floors, since they frankly didn't see much action during regular dungeon operations. Any chance they had to strut their stuff, they seized. Even Ghidorah, the new guy, was eager to be of service to his old friend Adelman. If he could make an impression with his performance here, he believed, it'd work wonders to ensure a position for him. Adelman, meanwhile, wanted to work even harder for his beloved Rimuru than he already had. He wanted to be awarded even higher levels, and on that score, the other Guardians were nothing but obstacles. Not enemies, no, but definitely in the way. Alberto followed Adelman's lead with this, but in his mind, he too had a desire to improve his fighting performance and make himself a household name. Despite appearances, he was surprisingly ambitious. Apito and Kumara, the 2 female dungeon marvels, had, to say the least, a strained relationship. Kumara in particular guarded floor 90 and thus almost never received a chance to perform in public. Apito got an opportunity to tangle with the paladins before, and Kumara was intensely jealous of that, leading her to treat this as much more of a battle than it really was. Apito, for that matter, was pretty competitive herself, refusing to back down a single step from her rival. This put them at odds over pretty much everything and anything. Zegian, meanwhile, acted like he was above the fray, and realistically speaking, he did stand at the pinnacle of the labyrinth, the target of everybody's envy. Whether he asked for it or not, he constantly got dragged into the debate. Thus, to sum up, things were kind of acrimonious among the most powerful denizens of the labyrinth. But did they truly hate each other deep down? The answer was no. Their goal, in the end, was to prove they alone were the best, not to try to kick everyone else down. There was a lot of jealousy, but a lot of respect too. They might have fought a ton, but there wasn't any real hate involved. Every one of them saw each other as diligent rivals, nothing else. Some ellipses. Despite the crowd sharing this meeting hall, it was surprisingly quiet right then. All eyes were fixed on the main seats in the table, currently unoccupied. They belonged to Veldora, king of the labyrinth, and the great Ramirez, its creator. They had been called to the meeting 2 hours ago, and while there was much carrying on between the marvels earlier, they all quieted down once Beretta showed up. Sir Veldora and Lady Ramirez will arrive in a few moments. Please remain quiet as we wait for them. Beretta sat down at his chair. Chairman, can I ask you a question? Said Kumara, and Beretta nodded back. Why are we gathered here today? For the reason you're all imagining, I presume. We need to discuss how we will dispatch the foolish army attempting to invade the labyrinth. I'm sorry, did somebody say something?
We are gathered here today to celebrate the union of these. Yeah,
There we go. That's exactly where my brain went to.
immediately.
Yeah.
Why are we
just like,
gathered here
we're
today
gathered
to
here
celebrate the
today for the
union
holy-
of...
Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today to celebrate the union of Benny Maru and his wife, blah, 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 blah.
And his
What's
wife.
their face?
Yeah.
At least
Blah,
his
blah,
first.
blah, 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 pudding.
Shut up and
Soka
kiss
looking
him.
at
Oh my
Soe,
God,
just
yeah.
like,
Uh,
wish that were me.
I
And Soe.
No.
don't even know if he makes that
If it was
sound, but-
Soe, he'd be off to the side sitting there like, what is the point?
Be like, why?
No.
What is the point of all this?
Soei's
Who
the one
would
that
be Benimaru's best man?
Soei is the one that teases him.
So he'd be more
No,
like.
he would be the best man for Benimaru, 100%.
Would he be the best man though?
Yes.
No,
So
Benimaru would
no.
probably
The
try to
best
get
man.
Rimuru to do that. No, because Rimuru would.
Soei would be the worst
Rimuru
man.
would officiate.
The worst man. The worst man. Because it'd be like him, but like a bunch of other clowns of himself.
Yep.
So
they're all just here for cake.
Here's my question: How would Soei handle arranging the bachelor party?
Arranging the bachelor party. I like to think that it's extremely stark and to the point. He's like, all right, 1 p.m. We gather the catering ingredients. 2 p.m. We gather the troops together so that we can form our obstacle course. 3 o'clock strippers come in from the sides.
No, 3 o'clock.
No. Just like
3 o'clock.
Why would they do that?
3 o'clock titty bar. 4 o'clock 4 o'clock hot wings.
5:30 jazzercise.
Yeah.
Jazzercise.
Jazzercise.
Yeah, gotta have jazzercise.
5
Yeah.
Look, that cake's gonna put a lot into him. He's gotta work
No,
it off.
6:30 dinner with myself. I can't cancel that again.
I knew where you were going with that. Yes. Solve world hunger.
He
Tell
would say it like
no
that. Can't
one.
cancel that again.
Solve world hunger. Tell
No.
No one.
What?
Yeah, exactly. I knew exactly where you were going. I was like, "Yep, he's the Grinch. He's the Grinch. He's Jim Carrey's Grinch."
Grinch.
Yeah, Grinch. All right.
So good.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
Wife. All right.
Where were we?
Everyone fell silent. They were all aware of the situation. Nobody told them exactly what this meeting was about, but they had accurately guessed its purpose already. Maybe they had been jockeying with each other for position before, but with the Imperial army at the door to the labyrinth, hostility towards the enemy had replaced their competitive spirit. What did it mean to make an enemy out of the labyrinth? They were all of single heart now. They needed to make their foe fully understand the answer. A heavy tension filled the hall, and then, hey, sorry for the wait. How nice of you all to gather here. Ramirez and Valdora appeared, upping the fervor in the hall that much more. It delighted Ramirez even further as she addressed the crowd in an unusually serious tone of voice. Today we're facing an unprecedented crisis, a kind that hasn't been seen since the labyrinth's foundation. So I want to hear some of your thoughts, people. That was the signal for things to begin. Kamara reacted first. Well, isn't it obvious? She could barely wait to express her thoughts, but Apito beat her to the punch. We kill them all. The two glared at each other. So are you going to leave things for my level this time, Apito? You got to play with those paladins for so long. You have to be happy by now. What are you talking about? Lady Hinata is one thing, but the Crusaders were all so weak that I had one of the most boring times of my life. A difficult kind of tension ran through the hall. Valdora oddly stepped up to diffuse it. Stop fighting, you two, and worry not. This time I will give you all a chance to wage battle. From what I've heard, they think that the deepest level of the dungeon is merely floor 60, considering we've advertised 100 floors from the beginning. I find it simply absurd, but here we are. Can you believe that? No, everyone thought. Valdora gave him a nod. I thought it would be fun to play along with those expectations, but really, it seems too much trouble to me. Yes, exactly, Ramirez agreed. Like my master said, it's too much trouble to wait for them to get past floor 50, not just for us, but for our foes too. Indeed. There are currently 700,000 soldiers jamming the area around the gate. I've been instructed by Rimuru to lure as many of them as possible into the labyrinth. But making such a huge crowd navigate that entryway is going to take forever, won't it? Honestly, you have to wonder why they brought so many folks along. So instead of that, we decided to divide up the enemy 1,000 soldiers per floor and then repeat as necessary. Lucky for Ramirez, the Emperor's soldiers were matching in neat, well-disciplined rows. This allowed for smooth entry into the labyrinth so far, but this was clearly going to take a lot of time. If the first few rows got in a fight, it'd interrupt the entire flow, and then there'd be no telling how long it would take to cram everybody in. How does that sound to you? And if you get a lucky draw, you might even wind up facing a real strong opponent or two. Who knows indeed? One of them might be the grave threat to Rimuru that Benimaru has been searching for. I think he's far too worried about that for his own good, but if you can find the man, that'll be a feather in your cap. Ramirez and Valdora made all eyes on the broom sparkle. To the Labyrinth Guardians, the Big Four serving Rimuru with targets of intense admiration. Benimaru, in particular, was Rimuru's closest friend and most trusted confidant. Everyone wanted a chance to fight him someday. Valdora might have said, no, I'm his stoutest of allies, if anyone brought up Benimaru's name, but they didn't, so things continued smoothly. Smoothly.
Smoothie.
Yes.
I should have got a
Mm,
smoothie
I'd
earlier.
like a
Dang
smoothie,
it.
Yeah.
actually.
A
No,
Veldora
so-
smoothie, you say?
Yeah.
Oh my.
It's just blended. It's just water and like sugar.
But it's
Just-
purple.
Yes, but it's purple.
Somehow.
Yeah.
So essentially, some like
It's a
7-Eleven
grimace
drink.
shake somehow.
A grimace shake.
Grimace shake.
Yeah,
How?
that's perfect.
Did Shion make it?
Hey everybody,
Did
it's
Shion touch
Veldora
this?
back again.
It's the grimace shake that doesn't kill
Yeah.
you.
Ah, yes. Because
just
he already
like-
killed Grimace.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah, yeah,
Veldora
that's
killed
true.
Grimace, yes.
they
you
sealed
imagine?
him off.
And I'm now trying this interesting shake that they told me about. It's purple. How interesting. What is that purple thing over
5
there? I'm going
minutes
to kill
later.
it.
It's like,
5
And
minutes
then
later.
he just ends up in the Family
like
Guy
Grimace
pose.
is just down.
Yeah.
The camera cuts out. Grimace is just down on the ground in the background. Can you believe that fuzzy thing tried to kill me?
And then he just ends up doing the Family Guy
And then he
pose.
takes another sip.
God
Yeah.
damn it.
Yep.
Oh.
So
That,
we all have a chance then. Sorry, go ahead. What were you
no,
saying?
I was going to
What
say,
about
let's
Millum,
be
though?
real here. He probably wouldn't even use a straw. He'd just take the lid off and just, ah ha ha ha.
Yeah,
Oh.
just
Dump
and then
it
just
all over
crush
his
the
butt.
camera.
No,
and
no,
just-
no. He would just do that. He would just do that,
Uh-huh.
and then he'd be laid down on the ground right next to Grimace, squeezing his
the
head
Family Guy
from,
pose.
from the fucking brain freeze.
Just- yeah.
And there's Rimuru. There's Rimuru over on the side, just like, God damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, especially because it's like you have a resistance to cold. How?
Hey, but that's external cold, not internal cold.
This is
You know what's even
different.
funnier?
That is true.
You know
yeah,
what's even
that has
funnier?
been established.
You know what's even funnier? We pan over to the side, and there's Millum with the same fucking thing.
I was gonna ask. Where's Millum all this?
I can see it. I can totally see it.
I can totally
Millum
see
would
that
do
happening.
everything up
That
into
would
the
be
same
so
point.
God damn it! Why did we do this during the fucking Grimace Shakes? We are
Next year.
so stupid.
Next year. Next birthday.
I mean,
We're
that
gonna
goes
do
without
it.
saying.
We
Gonna
plan for the
do
next
it?
one.
Are they even gonna do it?
They
I
might
think
not.
it's a yearly thing. Yeah.
No. Because
No.
they have been getting rid of the characters.
Yeah.
Mm.
When is the last time you saw Ronald McDonald appear in anything?
They
I guess
got rid
that's
of Ron-
true.
They got rid of Ron.
But then we got those weird like Happy Meal gremlin things. I don't like those.
The only
So.
thing they really have left is the Hamburglar.
Oh, yeah, that's
And they-
true. Or Birdie.
They're
but-
showing signs of him possibly disappearing as well. And
Yeah.
those signs are just that he's becoming more apparent because Grimace started to pop up a bit
Yeah.
more when his birthday was coming up. And now where is he?
Mhm. Gone.
It's a conspiracy, man. They're after it. They know it's coming.
They used the gremlin.
What happened to
Yeah.
Mayor McCheese?
Oh
He
yeah,
got
the
voted out of
Burger Man.
office.
Oh my god.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, they're killing them.
Yeah,
They're
they just
killing
kind of
it.
ate them. They're all made out of food, dude. What do you think happened?
The Hamburglar is
So-
not.
Cannibalism.
The
Yeah.
Hamburglar's not
Even
made
I'm
out of food.
edible, but that's illegal.
Wait a minute. That's
Also, dude, have you realized that Grimace is basically a purple McNugget?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that's what he's always supposed to have been, right?
No, here's the scary
It's like a-
thing.
Explain the
That
shake
means
then.
he's a poisoned McNugget.
A poison,
Oh.
poison attribute.
explains the
McNuggets.
That makes
meme.
sense.
Yeah.
Mhm. All right.
Yes. All right.
The milkshake was just pink, the pink sludge they used to make
It was
the
his blood.
nuggets.
Yuck. Gross.
All right. Sorry.
Gross.
Continue.
Yeah,
That's
keep,
okay.
keep going.
So, we all have a chance then. Well, if that's the case, I have no complaints at all. Apito and Kumara immediately seemed to patch things up with each other. They weren't alone. Everyone else was driven by similar motivation and ambition. All right, intoned Adelman. Does that mean we can do whatever we please with whoever enters our territory? Exactly, replied Ramirez. Now everyone was treating this more seriously. They're still filling in right now, she continued.
This
I'm
could
just
be
going to
good
connect
shit.
them straight to floor 41 for starters. Once 1,000 make it in, I'll move on to the next floor down, so be patient. Bobix and Equix, I've got another job for you two, so I'll brief you on that later. Jealous glances shot towards the pair of at once, making them tremble with anxiety. Now they were huddled down closer than before, trying their best to get through this social awkwardness. It'd be far better, they both agreed, if they could just fight those foolish invaders instead of facing up to this. But Ramirez paid them no mind. So the idea here is to spread all these troops out and take them in at each floor. We're talking 100,000 people total from floors 41 to 50, 100,000 from floors 51 to 60, 100,000 from floors 61 to 70, 100,000 from floors 71 to 80, and 100,000 from floors 81 to 90. Then maybe, like, we can have each Dragon Lord tackle 10,000 at once. And if we get any more coming in after that, I can stash them in the higher floors too. Thus, the labyrinth would house a maximum target of 540,000 invaders at once. Ramirez wanted this number to be at least 350,000, if possible. Last but not least, now, the one thing I don't want you guys to forget is that these are one-time rule changes to the labyrinth. Each Dragon Lord chamber has been expanded to 10 times its initial size, and I've switched the floors around as well. So they make it past floor 90, they'll be plunging right into those dragon rooms. But that's not really important. What is important is that I've changed the condition for beating this labyrinth. Ramirez did a little dance in the air to accentuate her point. What kind of conditions were these? Well, for starters, once you went through the main gate at the surface, you couldn't go back out until you beat the labyrinth. Beating it, in this case, was defined as defeating Veldora, so the Empire would have to deploy pretty much everything they had to stand a chance. In order to gain the opportunity to face Veldora, however, a would-be invader would need to collect 10 keys passed out to each of the 10 dungeon marvels. If you wound up starting at floor 80, you'd have to backtrack to earlier floors to defeat the requisite marvels. The moment they heard this,
I'm sorry. So let me get this straight. They basically have to go through this whole thing.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
they're playing 1,000-Year Door, the Pits of 100 Trials.
Yes.
yeah, and they don't know.
On hard mode.
Here's the thing.
Yep.
Here's the thing. It's not just that they have to take out all 4 of the dragons. They have to take out Adelman, Alberto, Apito.
Apito, Zegian.
No. Zegian.
Yep.
Okay, let me go ahead and just go ahead and put down the hierarchy here. Zegian is the final boss.
That's true.
Zegian is the
so-
final boss of the 10.
Or-
No. Zegian is the final boss of the 10 dungeon marvels before you can face Veldora.
Yeah, the one before Veldora.
Before.
He is the
That's a
one.
hell of a sub-boss.
Zegian is the final boss before
Yep.
Veldora. And this is before shit really goes down. This is in the pre-scary phase.
Mm. So
This is in the pre-scary phase. We haven't gotten to the scary phase. Empire must die difficulty. Yeah.
Yes.
We haven't even
My
gonna-
Empire versus the Pit of 100 Trials from fucking Paper Mario or whatever.
it's gonna be hell.
This
It's
is
gonna be awesome.
No. Do you know what the next chapter is called?
Nope.
Hell on earth.
No, the next chapter is called Total Victory.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be current objectives survive.
Okay.
No!
Can you say that? Can you say that again, but in Mortal Kombat?
Total
Total
Victory.
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 Total
Yeah.
Total.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, that was good.
Hey, he's back.
Cool guy. That's
Yeah.
great for you.
He does that
Your
all the
soul
fucking time, especially on Mondays. Anyway,
Gotta put some
Anyway.
banana
Worry
peels
about
out there around this
motorcycles
time of the
anymore,
night.
Yeah, we should really get some banana peels and throw them out there.
and then he does the as he spins
Yeah,
around.
he drops like 3
Yep.
coins or whatever. You
And then,
go
and
pick
then
Yeah.
when he spins out,
that pays your rent.
then Shem, when he spins out, you just look over and go,
Just do the
Oh yeah, no, the Luigi.
Or the
oh yeah, the
stairs.
Luigi
Yeah.
death stare. Yeah.
yeah. I'm like,
All right, sorry. Keep going.
yeah.
Keep going.
Anyway, okay. In order to gain the opportunity to face, the moment they heard this, the marvels immediately perked up. Even the Dragon Lords situated behind the table rumbled their approval. In that case, we really do all have an equal chance. You're right. It's a race to see how many we can hunt down. Many among them were already out for blood. Heh. Hopefully I can find someone worthy enough to lift my sword up against. Don't be cocky yet, Alberto. All we must think about is laying waste to our divine enemies. Master and servant were brimming with spirits, but others among them were meditating in silence over this. In their own way, everybody in the chamber was in high spirits for the upcoming battle. Gauging them, Beretta, the overseer of the marvels, more or less spoke up. So, Lady Ramirez, regarding the matter I asked for your assistance with? Right. Yeah, Rimuru gave the go-ahead, so let's see how things unfold with it, okay? Thank you very much. In that case, after that quick exchange, Beretta stood up and surveyed the 10 dungeon marvels. Ladies and gentlemen, Lady Ramirez has assigned me the title of Dungeon Master. I would normally share this title alongside my duties as chairperson of the 10 Dungeon Marvels, but Beretta saw that overseer job as a bunch of garbage dead-end work and little else. Ramirez thought having 10 marbles sounded better than 9, so he got tossed in to fill up the ranks. The job, as one would expect from Ramirez's bird-brained ways, changed from day to day. Sometimes it was little more than being Ramirez's gopher, which, to put it bluntly, was not his cup of tea. Trainee, despite having roughly the same position, seemed far more valued by Ramirez than he ever was. A lot of that was because Trainee never lectured Ramirez about anything, and Beretta couldn't see what was fair about that, either. Besides, Trainee pretty much did whatever she pleased, too, jetting off on those mystery trips out of nowhere, although gaining Ramirez's advance permission for them. It was a real problem for Beretta, who secretly grumbled over it quite a bit. Regardless, he was still named one of the 10 Dungeon Marvels, whether he liked it or not. He really wanted to give that position over to someone else, and now the perfect opportunity had arisen. I think I would like to give my position to whoever puts in the best performance in this battle. The Marvels had to resist the urge to whoop for joy. Even Bolvix and Equix were filled with ambitions not quite in line with their talents, hoping against hope that they could join the 10 Marvels. Unfortunately, their ambitions were shattered by the next thing Beretta said. For this current battle, I will provisionally grant Sir Ghidorah my position in the 10 Dungeon Marvels. Given Edelman's attesting of his powers, as well as his own knowledge, both Lady Ramirez and I have no qualms about this appointment. Ghidorah, facing the sudden announcement, was surprised but calm. Given how long he had lived, he was used to situations like this. Or like these. Yes! This is my time to shine, and if I put in an eye-catching effort, I won't be provisional for very long at all. Ghidorah had always been an aggressive man. He had to be, or else he couldn't hone the right place at the right time knack he used to navigate the world for so many years. And Ghidorah knew his place, too. His steely eyes told him just how powerful the 10 Marvels were. Some were lower or equal to him, while the others were so far above him that even making a comparison was ridiculous. He'd never be appointed overseer of the Marvels to be let those titans be, something he understood well enough, and so his goal was merely to gain membership to start. I will humbly accept your offer. You will. Thank you, Sir Ghidorah. It helps me a great deal. Ghidorah and Beretta had a real you scratch my back and I scratch yours moment. What's up?
I just love that. He's like pawning it off and he's like, oh, fucking thank you.
Yeah, fine. Here. It's all yours. Take it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Fucking thank you.
Here are my keys.
Yeah.
Swings them at him.
And while still temporary for now, that was the last change made in the lineup before the Empire War. Beretta was out of the 10 Dungeon Marvels and Ghidorah was in. Oh, yes. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, yes. I'm just as glad you're taking the offer, Ghidorah. I'll be assigning you to floor 60 with the Demon Colossus boss, and I hope you'll make good use of that one. Everything wrapped up without a hitch. They had already discussed all this with Rimuru, and they had decided to put Ghidorah to the test on a trial basis. Ghidorah had already been helping with Ramirez's research, and so forth, so he didn't need much convincing to accept the job. In fact, to him, being entrusted with the Demon Lord's Demon Colossus was a real dream. Great! In that case, shouldn't we give Ghidorah some... Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, shouldn't we give Ghidorah some kind of nickname, too? Oh, yeah. Any ideas, Ghidorah? Being asked this out of the blue, Ghidorah had nothing to offer. Well, let's see. Is this really important? He couldn't help but think. The Empire was already invading Labyrinth space. They really needed to take up defensive positions ASAP, something everyone must have been thinking, if not saying out loud. But the big bosses didn't seem too concerned about time and were treating this just like another chat. Oh, heavens. My hat goes off to them. Emperor Ludora is a great man, too, but I fear he's no match for this group. But given the Labyrinth we're in and the Storm Dragon we're with, I suppose it's only to be expected. Ghidorah was truly impressed. He was never one for loyalty, but seeing Veldora and Ramirez, and most of all Rimuru, so adept at manipulating these two, he couldn't help but feel a sense of awe. How about the Rune Master, then? Ooh, how catchy, Ramirez gushed. Yes, is it not? When push comes to shove, I always have the right answer. What a humble man. I love it.
What a pompous little shit.
Yeah. There was no possible way Ghidorah could object.
Yep.
It seemed like everyone had their orders, but Ramirez still had one thing to announce. Oh, right. I had a real important role for Bolvix and Equix. The two of them almost leapt out of their chairs, still nervous about what they'd be asked for. What role is that? What would you like us to do? Their nervous questions were greeted with a matter-of-fact reply. So I'm going to have you two stand by on floor 30. You can use the bosses there however you like, so if you see any invaders trying to escape, wipe them out for me, all right? I set the resurrection point for your bracelets at floor 32, so even if you get killed somehow, no worries. Do your best up there. By the sound of things, Ramirez assumed this would be easy work for them. All they could do was nod their agreement.
Infinite
They were
ambush.
motivated, yes.
Thank you for the
I mean, it's
follow.
true. Oh,
Enjoy your nibbles.
yes. Welcome aboard. Let me see. Yes. All they could do was nod their agreement. They were motivated, yes, but more than that, they were anxious. And they didn't deliver at a time like this. They feared being abandoned for good. If they put in a half-hearted effort, they could be fired from this most prestigious of positions. They exchanged firm nods, promising they wouldn't let that happen. The boss of Floor 30 was an Ogre Lord, ranked a B+, along with his 5 minions. Excuse me. Following orders from the A-rank Bovix and Equix, they were all bound to become a great team. Ghidorah, despite being so new, had readily accepted his appointment into the 10 Dungeon Marvels. Given they had been part of the labyrinth far longer than him, they couldn't afford to embarrass themselves here. That, and the two of them realized something else. Even if part of the Imperial force did make it past Floor 30, there was still no escape for them. That held even if they climbed all the way back to Floor 1. They just have to turn back, and along those lines, Bovix and Equix's assignment was extremely low stakes, come to think of it. And they both also realized that losing to those soldiers meant getting killed however many times it happened, an unpleasant experience. Well, let's do it. We're Guardians too, and if we can earn some recognition for our exploits, we're bound to get a promotion. Yes, you're right, my brother. No need to take turns or hold back this time. Let's crush our enemies with everything we've got. We'll crush every single fleeing Imperial soldier we find. We will, and I promise we'll live up to your expectations, Lady Ramirez. And their backs were against the wall, the only place to go was forward. Their anxieties instantly vanished, the two of them burning with enthusiasm. Now everybody had their assigned roles. Rimuru had asked us to lure as many Imperials into this labyrinth as we possibly can. And if we want to do that, you're going to have to show these guys a good time, to some extent. You're going to have to show these guys a good time, to some extent. Got it? They all nodded, understanding. Everybody saw what their role was. For day one, at least, they'd keep quiet and watch how the enemy moved. Then Ramirez, giving them all a satisfied look, dropped one more bomb on them. Good. Well, good luck, guys. And by the way, Ramirez said he'll be watching this battle. We'll be deciding who's the next overseer based on this. Oh, sorry. Rimuru said he'll be watching this battle. We'll be deciding who's the next overseer based on this. But it's a good chance for all of you to show off, okay? Everyone's face turned dead serious. Sir Rimuru will be watching? Even Zejian, silent until now, felt the need to gravely ask the question. It's true, though. It really surprised Apito. The insect Kaiser was a taciturn individual,
They all had
speaking
to
at all.
notice me, senpai.
They'd be like, oh, fuck, the boss is watching. Yeah. Or is it like a...
Look sharp, the boss is watching.
The boss is watching. Yeah. The boss.
Yeah. The boss.
The boss will be watching, so yous better do your best out there.
You guys.
Real Gooner hours.
All of your guns, all the Tommy guns better be spotless. Or it's
Yeah,
gonna make it's gonna be
goon
my
squad.
ass.
I don't think you
My
understand.
ass.
I don't think you understand how Tommy guns work, man.
No.
You gotta clean your weapon.
Yeah,
They got
but
so
after
much stronger
you,
things
but
than those.
after use,
Rattle
No
them, boys.
excuse. There's no for those guys, no excuse.
Mm.
They have to be spotless while firing. Every time they unload a magazine, they gotta clean that shit real fast and then reload,
Yeah.
fire again.
Do you own any firearms?
no,
Who are you asking?
that's not how that works.
Oh.
No, I know that's not how that works, but that's how they would do it.
Do you know
That's
how?
the point, though.
Do you understand how blood splatter works? Arterial
No
spray?
excuses for the people. But the master is watching. They gotta make them look good at all times.
I like hands.
I'm committing to this bit, no matter what the logic is. I'm dying on this hill. They have to make the weapons spotless.
You died half an
regardless
hour
of the
ago, sir.
For Rimuru,
I could have watched an episode of
there's
something.
no excuse.
Dude, you have the mentality of Veldora. You are clearly the one who took the top off the Grimace Shake and just was like, looked at it and
Oh,
we're
for
like,
sure.
and just one shot. You turned that whole shit upside down and we're like, you tried to one shot the whole fucking thing. You were like, you tried to
And then
just down
just quick cut to him on the ground.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I was actually
Yeah.
driving when trying it for the first time.
I never even got the
Oh.
chance to try it.
I don't even know what it tastes
I
like.
didn't want
It's supposed
to
be like
try
a
it.
blackberry.
So there you go.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I don't know. Seemed too strong.
Yeah, so imagine
was-
the meme if that happened.
It was just a
It
massive
wouldn't
sugar.
just be
and I
me
was like-
going out.
It looked like just a massive sugar, and I was like, "Nah, I'm good, bro. I'm good."
It is a massive
I mean,
sugar,
that's
though.
what a milkshake is.
I
Yeah.
mean, to be fair, yes.
It was actually
An
not that bad.
amalgamation of sugar.
Yeah. All right.
Actually,
And dairy
did not mind
products.
it. I liked
Okay.
it.
So
Anyway.
let's continue on.
Okay. It really surprised Apito. The insect Kaiser was a taciturn individual, rarely speaking at all. Apart from his loyalty to this demon lord Rimuru, Zegian was interested in little besides strength. Yes. Rimuru said he'd be observing the whole thing. Okay? The unanticipated pressure made Ramirez stammer a bit. Not even she had the opportunity to see Zegian talk much. Her surprise was only natural. Hold on. Zegian, there are no lies in Ramirez's words. Rimuru has a great curiosity about the strength of his labyrinth ranks. That is why he trusted you all enough to give you such a major role in this war. Eldora, following up. Huh?
Sorry,
What's up?
labyrinthine.
Labyrinthian. Oh,
Labyrinthine.
labyrinthine ranks. That's a weird word. Anyway.
Yeah, it is.
That's
That
what
is
they
why
call
he
the
trusted
citizens
you
there.
all. Yeah. I guess that makes
The
sense. Okay. it's
labyrinthians.
just- No, labyrinthine.
Labyrinthine.
Oh, yeah.
Labyrinthine.
Oh,
Yeah, like
labyrinthine.
labyrinth-like ranks. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Veldora, following up for his flummoxed Ramirez, saw Zegian as an excellent student, one he has been training in combat for some time. He was stronger than even Charis, who had been with Veldora for a very long time, and if the conditions were just right, he could fight evenly, or better, with Veldora himself. He was, in essence, too strong. Nobody in the labyrinth except Veldora could handle him, and that's why he was so excited for this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Ah, Sir Rimuru watching us. This is so emotional for me. I'll be sure to show him just how much I've grown. Of course. Yeah. He said he was expecting a lot out of you all, so let's give him a big surprise. Ramirez might have been giving them an innocent smile right then, but deep down she was merciless. Even a self-styled demon lord, she wasn't afraid to abide by survival of the fittest. Everyone who enters the labyrinth, including Empire soldiers, is presented with a set of rules. After each person is confirmed to be a willing participant, they are then asked directly to the instinct in their mind whether they're okay with never leaving unless they beat the dungeon. Will they see it as a threat or a warning? But even if people heard that and thought, oh crap, I'm in trouble, nobody seemed to be turning back. They all filed into the labyrinth like ants to sugar, dreaming of the fortune and glory inside. And at that moment, Ramirez ran out of mercy. Without reservation, she welcomed all of them as her enemy. And soon, the soldiers of the Empire would discover the true nature of this labyrinth, the fear it caused. Let us dedicate this victory to Sir Rimuru, muttered Zegian as he left his seat. With that signal, everyone was on the move. Visitors would soon start arriving at the hellscape, and they had to wait for them.
Okay, fucking hell, dude, you are cast. If we get to Zegian, I am casting you as Zegian. Jesus Christ.
Sorry, I love like stoic, like edgelord bad guys. They're like my favorite.
Fair?
Jesus.
Dedicate
Yeah,
this victory
gee, I
to
wonder
Sir
why
Rimuru.
you're Shia. You're fucking
Zoe.
Zoe,
yeah.
man. Jeez.
Yeah.
All right, so we've
I
got
love
we can pause right here for a second and
Yeah.
talk about this.
Okay.
So we had like our little meeting. We had our meeting with the 10 dungeon marvels, as it were. Let's talk about that. We don't usually get a chance to actually sit down and talk about the shit that we've read. I want to actually
They didn't
have that
either.
moment. I want
This
to have
will
that
be
moment.
on the
Yeah.
pop
They're,
quiz.
all
We're
of
not
these
gonna
people,
have a fucking quiz.
all of these guys, they're about to have an ability to become demon lords themselves, aren't they?
No,
No?
no.
I thought the prerequisite was, oh, but you have to have the egg first. Okay.
The
Yes.
egg.
Some people are going to reach levels where they can possibly awaken, but
Benny
not
Mara, I believe, is
everybody.
one of them.
Not everybody is going to get to that point.
Mm.
Are some people in the Dungeon Marvels gonna get to there? Yes.
Mhm.
Some of the Dungeon
Yeah.
Marvels will.
Well, it
Well,
makes sense because some of them
absolutely.
are not even gonna get a chance.
But
Everyone
not
else
all
is
of
gonna
them
slaughter
are. But not all of them are. But that doesn't mean that doesn't necessarily mean that that they need to. Some of them have already been given gifts or will be given gifts.
Mm.
Yeah, as Dude, Rimuru, you know, every time something amazing happens, Rimuru starts handing out gifts like it's going out of sale.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
for sure.
He hands it out like
Like
it's
he
a
picked
fucking
them up from
fire
Costco.
sale. And
'Cause
he doesn't even
doesn't know
think
how
about
Black
it.
Friday.
He doesn't even fucking
Yeah.
think about it.
He's Oprah.
He is Oprah.
He is.
You get a
You
Zenkai
get
boost.
godlike powers.
You get a
get
Zenkai
godlike
boost.
powers.
You get a
Everyone
Zenkai
gets
boost.
godlike powers.
Dude, Rimuru is the name god at this point. He's like, you get a name, and you
The
get a
god
name,
of
and you get a name.
names.
He's,
Yep.
names! I'm the king of names! Like, he just fucking hands
As
out
everybody in
names.
the audience just gets slightly buffer.
Yeah.
Another fun thing to do: make a version of Yako's world, but Rimuru giving people names.
Right? Yeah. But anyway, what'd you guys think about this? We are exiting
awesome.
the prep phase. We are now starting to get into the actual the buildup has been slowly boiling. It's like, all right, getting the metaphor here, the pot is coming to a boil. And it's about to spill over. We're about to get to the glorious cooking phase.
I don't know why, but
Glorious.
yeah, I don't know why, but I made the joke about the 1,000-year door, pit of 100 trials, and now I'm thinking of like everyone, and it's like, oh, so you're this floor, you're this floor, you're this floor. Like imagine the arm is like, hey guy from floor 10, how you doing? Oh, hey floor 12, you got that thing I mentioned? Like just being bros
And
or
guys,
whatever.
guys, I'm not just talking about. I'm not
Yeah.
just talking to my friends that are sitting here in this call. I'm talking to the chat too. I want to hear your thoughts and opinions. Please comment in the chat because you've been listening to us
Liz.
as we talk here. Come on, guys! I want you to
We
enact
need the
it.
engagement.
We need the engagement here. Let us
Hey.
know what you
Nice.
thought.
Thank
You
you.
know,
How we
We're
grow
engaging here.
we need some engagement
Come
up
on,
in here.
guys.
We're doing the hand
But
motions and
I
everything.
need to hear some more stuff besides Wind Slime 9 because I'm sick of hearing it. I don't know.
It's
I haven't
coming.
heard
When
from
9.
Calvin. I have
It's
not heard
coming.
from Calvin. I don't
it-
know.
Yeah,
I'm waiting
Natty
on Calvin.
Ice. We get
Things
into
about to
a,
get
a
bloody.
big
Things
bloodbath
are about to
soon.
get bloody.
Gonna
But what
get-
did you guys?
absolutely.
But what did
It's
you guys
true.
think about? What did you guys think about? Like, hey, they have to go through all 10 of the marvels to get all the keys in order to fight Veldora, in order to make it out.
Oh, that makes
of
me
the...
laugh.
Yeah.
Here's my question.
They are so
just
fun.
like,
And
oh.
keep in mind,
They're boned.
here's the thing. Even if they beat one of them, and they have to go,
They have to backtrack.
they have to backtrack. And then if they beat the guys in the back, they have to come back and then beat them all over again because they've respawned. It's
So
not.
it's like-
It's not. I get to
Work
skip
out
them
the
because
way
I
last
beat
time
them.
here, so-
It's not. I get to skip them because I've already beat them. No, they have to fight them again.
Here's my
And-
question. I
and-
want
They
to.
have
ask.
no idea what's about to happen.
They're
to them.
running
Not
through.
at all.
Yeah, they're
running through,
they're boned.
They're running through all of their rations.
Yep.
Yes.
They do not
Yep. So
understand.
they have to have enough.
They do not understand the hellscape they have just stepped into. And
No.
we're not even talking about just the bosses that like the floors themselves are built against them.
Oh, this is going to be so
here's-
much
here's
worse
my
than the.
question then.
Oh, go
you
for
guys.
it. Yeah.
Do we?
Huh.
I guess Richie, you already know the answer to this more or less.
Yeah, I shouldn't
But
talk.
for me, Shem, Moon, and the chat, what floor do we believe that they wipe on? Like game over officially. Where do we hit the
All
game
of
over
them.
for this?
Oh no,
There's not going to be a single group that can move on.
Dude, no. Here's the thing.
It's true.
It's not that.
How far
they're
do they get?
They don't. It's not a climbing up the thing. Like, if you weren't listening, what's happening is they're getting to floor 1. They're coming in on floor 1, and every
Yeah.
time like a certain amount of them come in, they instantly get teleported to a floor.
Yeah. So it just.
Oh, so it's
To a
random
random
what
floor,
floor
yeah.
they get sent to.
Yeah.
No, Ramirez gets to pick.
Yeah.
It's
so
not
she
random.
has to-
Random
Ramirez
for them,
picks.
but not
random for
actually
them,
random.
but not random. Yeah,
Right,
Ramirez picks. So
Okay, so the
she's
rules
go-
changed in wartime.
she's
I
going
thought it
to
was
s-
they get okay.
Yeah. The rules
Oh, yeah,
change.
no,
That's
no,
what.
yeah.
That's you weren't paying attention to what Shem was reading. What he was reading, Ramirez was saying she's going to start sending them, and it's not 100%
Yeah, with
random.
text messages, sorry.
She is sending them to either floor 71, or either floor
Mm-hmm.
61. Wait, is it floor 51? It starts on floor 51,
Hold
right?
on.
51, 61,
Going
71,
back.
81, or
Someone
91.
else didn't pay attention either.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, it says 100,000 people total from floors 41 to 50, 100,000 from
Okay.
51 to 60, 100,000 from 61 to 70, 100,000 from floors 70 to 80, and 100,000 from floors 81 to 90. So each.
So there's still
yeah,
more wiggle room in that because it's not all of them on
Yeah.
one floor. It's spread out
No.
across the floors.
Yeah, it's spread
Yeah,
out across the
exactly.
floors, but like every 1,000 is gonna get teleported. So
Yep.
like
Mm-hmm.
literally, they're walking in, and as soon as 1,000 people enter floor 1, they disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Just
That's it.
And then
That's
the
how
next
it goes.
100,000
And then
go.
the next 1,000
Yep.
go in.
Next.
Next.
Oh.
And what's going to be even crazier is when they get to certain areas and they get to those boss rooms, and the bosses are just sitting there with like 1,000 corpses.
Mm-hmm.
The psychological
be
fucking damage. Now, keep in mind,
Oh,
they are
man.
purposefully.
They're literally sitting like this,
The bosses are purposefully not coming out the first day.
Mhm.
They are not engaging the first day to give the Empire a false sense of security, so they'll send more people in.
But,
That-
oh god, I
that's
bet
the
they want to
plan.
though.
The plan is so they will
Regrouping and
send
luring 'em
more and
in.
more and more and more people in. It's
Mhm.
insane.
Yeah, this is.
You've
this is
already
gonna be
read the
a
next books,
slaughter.
and you can't wait to see our reactions to the slaughter. Their reactions to the slaughter.
Yeah.
Buddy.
Oh, it's gonna be
Okay,
great.
hold on. Ume.
Mhm.
Ume, hold on.
Mm.
I told you no soundboard.
I don't
I can hear that
no idea
shit,
what you're talking about.
fucker.
Nope. Mm-mm.
I heard
You
the
didn't have
crickets,
headphones
you
on, I don't know
ass.
what you're talking about.
I can hear it.
He has ears. Well,
I'm
look at
up
all those
to
books.
I'm up to volume 16. So I've definitely read ahead. I know what's coming. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's so good what's about to happen. Oh man, it's nice.
Oh, brother.
One Dungeon Marvel gets to have a real good time soon. Oh yeah. More than the others. Yeah, man. It's so fun. All right.
The cream of the crop. Oh yeah.
Moon, are you ready?
I absolutely am.
All right.
Yep.
Let's do this.
Column by orderly column, the soldiers of the Imperial Army were marching down into the dungeon, their movements methodical and without fancy frippery. Each had a safety belt around their waist, connected front and back, so each column stayed around 10 feet away from each other. In addition to these troops, there was a separate designated combat team, not connected by ropes and able to move freely around. When not engaged in a fight, they held on to the main force's lifelines. With enough sheer quantity, no labyrinth was ever going to be a problem. They had prepared everything well in advance, and this entire force wouldn't have any issues getting lost as they marched onward.
He's fucking cool. Sorry.
Yep.
There's a picture of Zegian.
It was cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Satisfied with his handiwork, Caligulio's mind turned toward all the riches he was set to gain shortly. This maze is merely child's play. The problem is all the monsters that live inside. Not their strength per se, but the time they'd have to spend dealing with them. Their preliminary intelligence indicated the labyrinth ran a total of 60 floors, but they hadn't received confirmation on that yet. At least one rumor pegged the actual number at 100, but the other officers had dismissed that as unrealistic, a bluff. Still, the deeper the floor they reached, the more valuable the treasure they'd be bound to discover. And most importantly, the purer the magic crystals they were likely to find. That alone made this a very attractive offer, but the deeper you went, it seemed, the stronger the local monsters would become. That, Caligulio thought, had the potential to become a big hassle. Well, once we find out exactly what kinds of monsters we'll encounter down there, we can figure out how to subdue them the right way. That'll make for more efficient hunting, too. Stroking the beard he was unduly proud of, Caligulio had made his conclusion, seeing the well-trained soldiers spread before him, their grand majesty a symbol of the Empire's authoritative power. This labyrinth hardly seemed like a threat at all. They had all undergone training to simulate the style of battle that would likely unfold down there. Practitioners of spirit magic would map out the path ahead, and then the special ops teams would disarm any traps. The combat team would then dispatch the local monsters. Then the cleanup team would scavenge for salvageable materials and magic crystals. The lead member of each column was responsible for overseeing this entire process from start to finish. Once all the treasure was gathered, it would be sent
Rearward? Yeah.
rearward. Jeez, rearward. Yeah.
That's a weird word.
By the soldiers tied to each other, all the way back to the entrance gate, where the platoon standing by there would take it to the nearby command HQ. Linking soldiers together like this would allow them to quickly handle any unexpected changes in the process. If something came up, the soldiers were carefully trained to retreat at once in order to report to their superiors. Caligulio's plan worked extremely well at first. But then something strange happened in there. After approximately 1,000 soldiers went through the gate, all contact was suddenly lost. What should we do, sir? What happened to the soldiers? It was unclear, but judging by the surgically clean cut of the rope, someone must have been messing with the spatial links in there. We were briefed on that. The labyrinth can change its structures at times, but they said it happened once every 24 hours at most. It troubled Caligulio, but he didn't let the brigade of soldiers stop. For a while longer, he allowed the storming of the labyrinth to continue. What they later found, after some observation, was that the labyrinth changed structure with every 1,000 people they put in. Wait, not quite. I see. It looks like their enemies welcoming us with open arms. How do you mean, sir? Simple. I'm sure it doesn't suit them much if the labyrinth's crawling with people. The stairs we see there don't lead to the second basement floor, but likely to some other floor instead. Really? They can do that? Caligulio gave his surprised staff officer a, well, what do you think, doofus? Look, and a bit of a snorted chuckle. Well, I'm sure they can. This is a demon lord we're fighting, remember? If they can't pull that off on their home turf, they would have been destroyed ages ago. He had predicted what would occur in the labyrinth with decent accuracy so far. From the soldier chatter before they lost contact, there was no indication that anything unusual was going on in it. Hold on, I'm going to adjust this a little bit. There we go. Indication. It didn't seem reasonable to think that something had just happened to them out of nowhere. Besides, we lost contact once exactly 1,000 people came in. What do you make of that? Yes, that's very insightful of you, sir. With a nod of acknowledgement, Caligulio considered their future plans. Even in these early stages, they had already retrieved a few bits and bobs of treasure, finely made personal accessories, for example, or weapons and armor made of magisteel. It was all top-notch stuff, and what's more, the magic crystals they harvested were similarly high in quality, producing energy with unquestionably high efficiency. If they halted the invasion now, the fates of the 2,000 people in there already would be all but sealed. Best instead to stick with the original plan and keep pushing all their masses of people inside. That was Caligulio's decision. They're trying to threaten us, trying to make us give up on conquering this labyrinth so he can buy some more time. Expecting some reinforcements from Dworgen, no doubt. Laughable, isn't it? Because by now, those reinforcements must be exactly. Stopping now is exactly what the enemy wants us to do. Make sure everyone's aware of that. Yes, sir. Continuing with our primary objective to conquer. Caligulio was satisfied with this. The enemy tried to trap him, and he was sure he saw through it. And weighing the potential profits from the treasure against the lives of his soldiers, he decided to ignore any lingering uncertainties in his mind. That moment alone decided the Imperial Army's fate. A day had passed since the invasion began. The march had continued day and night, and by now some 350,000 soldiers were in the labyrinth. Like clockwork, they were being sent to different locations every time 1,000 new soldiers came in. Apparently, those soldiers taken to very certain floors were still able to bring at least a part of their bodies back outside the spatial rift, and the kinds of treasure they were still ferrying back was constantly changing. Nearly none of it was low quality, and there were even a few weapons with strange, concave holes inserted into them. Some kind of new enemy weapon, perhaps. There was no better indicator of just how panicked the enemy was right now. They would doubtlessly have retrieved these weapons if they had the time to. If they didn't, it was proof that events had hurried them along involuntarily. They're all but putting out the welcome mat for us, and now that push has come to shove, they're finding themselves in trouble. So foolish. Using the labyrinth to attract people from surrounding nations, he thought, was a pretty neat idea. But not being able to handle matters right at this most crucial of moments made the whole thing seem shoddy to him. So, while Caligulio had at first been openly derisive.
Derisive? Yeah.
Lord, throwing out all the new words at me. Okay. Openly derisive of the demon Lord Rimuru and his team, now that a day had passed, he decided to halt the onrush and see how things unfolded. The soldiers around HQ were thus allowed to take breaks in shifts. Really, they could have kept going, but suddenly Caligulio was feeling uneasy. It's 350,000 troops in there so far, right? Yes, sir. Half our army has invaded the labyrinth. He might have been losing contact with them every 1,000 troops, but so far Caligulio's predictions were correct. Not much later, he got a report that soldiers inside the labyrinth had made contact with the ones who went in first. Now the Empire was gaining momentum. Everyone was on edge about the missing troops, so knowing that their comrades were safe in there came as a relief to everybody on site. They had been hiding their anxiety before now. Getting worked up about every little hitch would make you an embarrassment to the Empire, and the good news energized everyone all the more. They had nothing to fear now, and the speed of the labyrinth incursion was accelerating. Thanks to all that, now a good half of the entire army was sucked into the dungeon. But we've put hundreds of thousands in there, but they still haven't fully plumed the labyrinth. Not even I thought it was this vast, no.
Plumbed.
Plumbed? Okay.
Plumbed.
Not even I thought it was this vast, no. 60 floors. I thought each floor shrank the farther down you went. That's what we heard, sir. Or no. Oh, I had it reversed. That's what we heard, sir. I think they'll reach the lowest depths before too long, but... The plan called for the Imperial Army to conquer the labyrinth long ago, but things hadn't turned out that way. And the problem was once they stopped throwing new soldiers inside, that de facto meant they lost contact with everybody already in the labyrinth. Reconnecting with the advanced forces in there meant a pretty vast quantity of treasure was coming their way, but the caravan had been halted as well now that the invasion was on hold. And not one person who went inside has come out yet. No, sir. Apparently the labyrinth must be fully beaten before anyone can get out. Yes, I heard about that. Everyone who went in had a question run through their heads, didn't they? Correct, sir. But while the conditions are clear enough, it seems that before they can slay the king of the labyrinth, they have to defeat the guardians, who are defending 10 keys. Ah. And we haven't beaten those yet. They had an answer, but it wasn't the one Caligulio was looking for. The king of the labyrinth was likely to be Rimuru. And if killing him beat the labyrinth, that was exactly what the Empire wanted, or should have wanted anyway. Instead, all they had done was stop sending in follow-up troops, thus cutting off contact with everybody inside. Do you think a force of 350,000 can beat the Demon Lord? The staff officers were at a loss to answer, but it didn't take them long to drum up their previous vigor. The blunder the Kingdom of Farmus made, I believe, is that it ran into Veldora. If it's just the Demon Lord Rimuru alone, we should have enough resources to beat him. I agree with him, sir. We have a great number of over-A troops in this initiative. Good news should be coming our way in time. His staff, seemingly relieved that they were apparently on the same page as each other, rejoiced loudly over their assured victory. But Caligulio just couldn't shake off his unease. All right. First, I want contact made inside the labyrinth. Send in a liaison team and have them try out all our comm methods. Accepting the order, they went through the checklist of Imperial communication protocols they had handy. None of them worked. Magical calls, telepathy, nothing elicited a response. By this point, the staff officers were having trouble kidding themselves any longer. Their hearts, bursting with visions of all the booty the labyrinth was about to give up, were now down in the doldrums, faced with a suddenly unforeseeable future. Having no contact with the inside was starting to seriously affect their mood. Without any idea of the battle situation, they couldn't even adequately perform their jobs. In that case, sir, we'll resume the invasion once we reorganize our ground troops. Right. Caligulio nodded. No matter how this turned out, they needed to send someone to check on the situation. If they kept them on ground level, there was no way to check on what was happening down below. The large gate remained wide open, showing no signs of closing up. Nothing had changed with it since first discovery, and yet the moment people stopped filing through it, nothing at all could be sensed from beyond the entrance archway. Even the steady flow of goods from the inside had cut off, and partly thanks to that, the Command HQ was starting to become an uncomfortable place. 2 more days passed. Why aren't we receiving any further reports? With every 1,000 people being taken to a different place, sir, it might be hard for them to find troops who found themselves deep in the labyrinth. Are you telling me the labyrinth is that vast? You don't think... What? You don't think they've all been beat... Shut up, fool. Lost your nerve, haven't you, huh? Calm down. I think this was the Demon Lord Rimuru's plan all along. He wanted to make us suspicious, paranoid, and force us give up on his lap. It says 2 on yours, it does not on mine.
No, it doesn't say 2. There's a missing word.
Yeah,
Nice.
and force us give up on his labyrinth.
There's a missing word.
That is so annoying.
Yep.
The dungeon is already starting to affect them.
Oh no.
Now,
They just
unlike
don't
in the
even
early
realize.
stages, only 1,000 troops were allowed to enter each hour, out of an abundance of caution. At that rate, however, it was hard to retrieve new information at all, to say nothing of treasure. Thus, the first day saw 350,000 soldiers march in. The second day saw 150,000 more. But on the third day, 30,000 were passage. This left the number of Imperial forces on the ground 170,000 total.
Hold on. You're cutting in and out. There are words that are being cut out because of internet reasons.
I heard him fine.
Really? Okay, so it's a Discord
So
issue.
it might just be on your
I did
end.
hear him fine too.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's a Discord issue
I wonder
on
if it
my...
was just on your end.
It's a Discord issue on my end, which is the problem.
For once.
Yeah. Which
Yeah,
is...
you're fine, Moon.
Here's the thing. I have perfect internet. So it's a Discord
Perfect.
issue.
Either way.
Yeah.
Am I coming through okay now?
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've
The
been coming
problem-
through
You'll be
fine.
coming through okay.
okay. But the problem is, I'm the one streaming. So whether
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
hear
Yeah.
whether you guys hear it clearly or not isn't the important thing. If I'm not hearing
Which is
it
why
clearly,
I'm asking you.
yeah. Can we
Butthole.
Oh, round 2.
I hate that guy.
Christ.
seriously fuck
Sorry.
that guy? So can we just
I know.
Yeah.
so can we go
Get the
back and
bananas.
just do that part again real quick?
How far back?
Just read
think
off
it's a
those
paragraph.
numbers again.
Oh.
Go back and read off those numbers again, just for me, real quick.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to... Okay. Information. Thus, the first day saw 350,000 soldiers march in. The second day saw 150,000 more. But on the third day, only 30,000 were allowed passage. This left the number of Imperial forces on the ground at 170,000 total.
Good.
Would it be wiser to conserve our numbers at this point? I'd hate to play into the enemy's strategy, but it may be unwise to cut our forces any further, yes. We did send supply teams into the labyrinth. That'll extend the operational time frame for our troops. Perhaps we could toe the line and see how things unfold for the next day. Say, 20 days? Rather a passive approach, don't you think? Perhaps, but we still haven't made contact with Lieutenant General Gaster or Major General Faraga either. They might be in the middle of intense combat, or maybe several intelligence units had gone down as well. None had returned. Trusted friends and dedicated Imperials were now completely out of touch. It's because the magicule count's too high in there. What other reason would there be? Caligulio was assertive about that, at least. He didn't want to see morale go down any more than it had, but the atmosphere around the place was already very unsettled. There was an indescribably eerie silence throughout, and every person on the scene had long since begun to foster ominous premonitions.
Hold
Even
up.
their commander, assertive as he was, felt the same way.
All right. Let him cook. We're gonna keep going
Okay,
until the dot.
He still had 170,000 soldiers here, But turn that around, and you could say there were only 170,000 left. Perhaps I'm making a terrible mistake. Now the doubts were coming clear as day into his mind. The towering gate before them seemed incredibly creepy to him now, contributing to his anxieties. And the fates of all those who cared to cross it into the labyrinth, Caligulio would learn about them all very soon.
It was at that moment that he realized he might be fucking up.
He is the very modern of a modern major fuck up general. Alrighty.
He's a.
All right. So now that we've come across that, and we've had the upstairs opinions on what's going on, it's slowly starting to dawn on these fuckers just what's going on here. I love seeing from their kind of point of view. I want to hear from the chat. I want to hear from you guys your thoughts on how this is all kind of playing out, and get kind of the inside baseball of like how are you feeling about this right here? Like I
Are
clearly
we talking
know.
baseball announcer?
No. Inside baseball is kind of like the term, because you kind of like, I want to know what's
I'm
going
sorry,
on
you
up
already
here.
put me on the path. I gotta do it now.
All right.
Well, their pitcher
Well,
Caligulio
Richie-
seems to be doing his best. He's throwing his all out there, but he's just getting back misses and balls left and right. I don't know what is going on with him. He thinks he's doing okay. You can clearly see that every time he throws that ball with a smile, but they just ain't striking out, you know?
All right.
So
Hey, Chief.
the batters
going
out
it.
there seem to be doing well, though we can't really see who exactly is batting or necessarily what their average is. We just see the balls flying as
Or
it were.
necessarily
They
where
can't hit the
went
curve.
to.
They can't hit the curve. That's what I'm hearing.
Can't hit the curve. That's
Can't hit the curve. All right. But
And there's Edgian with a steel chair. Sorry.
oh no, it's Sedgian with a steel
Oh, wait,
chair.
this is
Like
wrestling,
playing
not
baseball, suddenly-
baseball, not wrestling.
Yes.
Is this
The
what
entire,
happens?
all the remaining soldiers are just like, yeah.
This is
I
what
walk around
happens
his
when you
side, that's
take.
not right.
This is what happens when you bring baseball to a wrestling match.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, no bats are involved.
Balls are getting hit either way, so.
Oh yeah,
They're
balls
being
are
hit, but not by baseball bats.
All right. Anyway, but what did you guys think about this? I'm curious.
Oh, they're.
I
It's
don't
just fun
remember.
to watch them deteriorate mentally.
I don't remember because it's been a couple months since a lot of the preliminary information's been like introduced about what they are aware, the Empire is aware of. Do they think there's only 60 floors?
They do.
Is
Yes,
that something
they
that was
do.
established?
Yeah.
I thought
is-
that was. Yeah, it's like, well, Richie, it's a real shame that apparently their coach has been misinformed heavily about how many floors they really are.
I
for
should
sure.
not have said inside baseball at all. Jesus.
Oh, never. It's,
I don't watch
it's a
baseball, so you
wonderful
can tell.
thing to see.
There's gonna be an episode. There's gonna be an episode where I have you chucklehead sitting with me and Carson, and we just narrate a whole episode of like stuff going on. People
would
are
like
gonna
that.
be
That'd be
so
Can you
fun.
imagine
confused.
if we have a stream highlights of all of these novels?
No, not of the
Novels.
novels. No, just an
No, just
episode of
I
the
meant just in
Abridged.
general, but yeah.
Just an episode of the Abridged where we just narrate like a couple of chuckleheads.
That would be great.
That would be funny.
Yeah.
Call it slime
Here,
tracks.
I've
Like
drew a
riff tracks,
schematic
but slime
about
Oh
the
no!
journeys.
I know what I would do. I know what we do. We're gonna do
It's,
it as we're gonna do it.
It's really terrible.
As you can see,
I don't
the more
care.
you fuck
Fucking around.
the more you will find out.
Yes.
This gradual drop in performance that they're doing.
Shim.
Yes.
Even
Yes.
if you make it a fuck around and find out graph, I'm still not gonna help you find your ex.
Oh, there. Oh, wait, no. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
Going for everyone's start today, Richie.
Just damn.
I just am, man. I've got 2 months worth of shit I gotta catch up on, man.
Jim, I'll lend you
That's
some
true.
of the aloe vera that was gifted to me.
Yeah.
So that was gifted.
Pass it around.
Just throwing your way.
That
bro.
Moon gave to me earlier today. Here you go, man.
It's a big jumbo family size bottle. Nice.
Yes.
It's like, why is it half empty? Look, we had a long night, all right?
apparently it's scrub pass.
Scrub pass. Oh.
Yes.
But basically, I'm just catching up on like 2 months worth of missing out on everything. So
Yes.
Last week I was just really, really happy to see everybody, and now I'm just trying to catch up on like all the shit talk I missed out on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a lot of that.
But man, yeah.
Yeah.
The Empire is starting to wake up and smell the death that is headed toward them.
Got Morgan Freeman just waiting to say the line. You know the line.
They were just throwing soldiers at it. Then they're suddenly like, maybe the Russians weren't a good role model.
Only fools rushing.
Yeah.
No, they were a
Everybody's Russian.
big country and everything, but they were,
Insane.
Only
I don't know. Now looking back at it, all, they were pretty slow.
But I can't help. All of this loot looks great.
Hugging the
greed is real.
with you. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm.
Let's see.
Oh.
Shmish.
Gotta get the
Guys,
weekly
do
shred.
you want to hear what's going on floors 41 through 48?
Yeah, I do.
And now checking in with floors 41 and 48.
All right.
Here we have Richie on the scene.
All right. Guys, I'm coming to
Let's go
you.
live to Richie on the scene.
Guys, I'm coming to you live on floors 41 through 48. Shit's getting real.
I hear that.
Oh man, that's really, tell us about it, Richie. What do you see out there?
It's pretty bad. It's a two-finger situation.
Oh,
just
that
damn.
bad, huh?
Yeah.
I'm sure you like
I can't help but notice some of the carnage happening around you. Did that man just get decapitated by nothing?
that guy's blood was all punched out.
I told you it was a shit show up here. Yeah. All right. So anyway.
Yeah.
Now you gotta read the paragraph.
All
of
right.
that
Now,
voice.
let me explain the situation. Ladies and gentlemen of the congregation. The exact fate of the... God damn it, you motherfuckers. I go to start reading
I had to.
the rate dates via finger in situation. Yeah. Yeah.
Well.
One finger is...
Maybe it's a 3, you know?
One finger is like fucking...
it's-
one finger is insane. 2 fingers is really important.
Oh, yes.
2 fingers really important.
Like, you got to get the 2 at least.
Two
That's
fingers.
how you know you're at
you
least doing
can't
well.
you can't do 3 fingers at the ear. Like 3 fingers is a prostate exam.
Yeah, it's kind of like
3 fingers is a
even with
prostate
mine
exam.
that are
man.
pretty
Like,
big.
come
And it can be quite shocking every so often.
on. God damn it. 3 fingers is for bowling. 3 fingers is for bowling, guys. All right, let's get this out of the way. 3 fingers is for bowling, or if you're a penguin,
Yeah. Or your Mewtwo.
or
for
you're
some reason you're
is that
coming in
fucking
peace.
Frieza? All right. Floors 41 through 48. Eyewitness account. The exact fate of the Imperial soldiers who entered the labyrinth varied widely. Some fat fuckers over on the 40th floor, man.
Look, the Empire has a
Maybe you should
real-
stop eating so much
real,
Jimmy John's.
No, McDonald's.
Yeah.
They get all the grimace steaks before they got here.
EC! Wake up! Welcome back, EC!
Hello.
Any more
been
than
a while,
3,
bud.
it's got to be some sort of cow. That's a cow ear. Yeah, it's a cow ear.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Oh.
the exact fate of the Imperial soldiers who entered the labyrinth varied widely depending on the floor they were dumped into. Those put between floors 41 and 48 were by and large.
The
Hey.
superstore.
Wily. All right. Anyway. All right. The lucky ones. They were the lucky ones. That's the scary thing. The guys on the 40th floor were the lucky ones.
They got off easy-ish.
It housed some
Ish.
pretty tough monsters, but we were still talking in the B ranked range. Nothing for those. Nothing for these surgically enhanced soldiers to sweat about. Things proceeded very quickly with their advance. These were all extremely capable soldiers, ranking at least a C+ by adventurer standards, and their skills were first class. A group like that would never panic when faced with monsters, so the troops kept marching in an orderly line, their affiliated combat team taking protective action a little behind them, setting up base points at each corner. They made sure every passage was clear before proceeding. Following training, as their numbers filled up the floor. In less than a day, they had discovered both the ascending and descending stairways. In this mission, the top priority was to kill the Demon Lord with the full brunt of their strength. Plundering the treasure on their earlier floors would be left to other troops or saved until everything else was over. Once the stairs were fully occupied by the combat teams, the invasion continued. Near the stairs was a room whose door had been sealed shut. A sign reading "Rest Stop" was nailed to it. It was exactly how their intelligence described it, with the exception that the door refused to budge. "It's not opening, sir! It's likely been disabled." I'm sure. "Can we break it down?" "Guns and magic did nothing to it, sir. I think it's safe to assume it's as indestructible as the labyrinth corridors themselves." The captain nodded at his reporting soldier. This was natural. Nothing worth being surprised about. Maybe they could try a magitank gun on it, or some kind of large-scale magic, but that could compromise the safety of everybody here and everybody else in here. A nuclear magic spell would lead to untold casualties, so as originally planned, the captain decided to keep making their way straight down the labyrinth. A human wave strategy, basically. Not being able to use the rest stop irked him to high heaven, but he accepted it. "Report up top for me about this, and tell them the invasion's going smoothly." "Yes, sir!" Being isolated down there, kept to a force of 1,000 unnerved him at first, but getting downtrodden by this would make him unworthy of being an Imperial officer. So the captain decided to continue the attack, and this turned out to be the right answer. For after a while longer, they managed to rendezvous with another team. This floor was much larger than expected, but thanks to help from an elementalist and a surveyor, they were proceeding at a rapid pace. The magic crystals dropped by the monsters they slew were high quality, and they were finding excellent treasure from the chest they discovered. The people who took the stairs down reported back to say that they were close to completely conquering floor 42. Cheering could be heard across the halls. The Empire would never be defeated. On the second day, they completed their search for every chamber on floor 41 and journeyed onward to floor 42, joining up with the team they previously made contact with. There, at breakneck speed, they headed for floor 43, and before day 3 even began, they were just a few steps away from reaching floor 48. It was beyond all expectation, but floor 49 would be a much different story. Labyrinth floors. Labyrinth floors 49. Labyrinth floors 49 and 50. There's something on my neck. I'm sinking. My legs are melting. Help me. I can't get my hand out. It was pandemonium. A moment's inattention and the slimes came. Everywhere. From here to the other side of the floor. Tons and tons of slimes. Slime. Yeah, okay, good. I wasn't the only one thinking it.
Everybody.
All right, good. I wasn't the only one thinking it. Good. Mm-hmm. All right.
As soon as you said it multiple times,
Yep.
it's like, uh-oh.
There we go. Yep. All right. I'm trying to find... Take a break for a moment, and slimes fell on you from the ceiling. Turn a corner, and slimes would scatter and destroy entire platoons. Slimes on the wall, slimes on the floor. Weapons and armor were laid waste to, soldiers rapidly losing their stamina. Damn it! Haven't they made it through yet? Sir, There's a monster presence across the entire floor, so our magical detection isn't working very well. In addition, it seems to be highly resistant to physical attack, so basic strikes aren't working on them. Yes, and they proliferate at an unbelievable rate. Pain doesn't seem to register with them, so they don't even flinch at our attack. A single slime was hardly any concern, but when they were this gigantic, burning one to death suddenly became a massive effort. They were proving much more troublesome than expected. And while they didn't have to retreat yet, thanks to reinforcements, who arrived every few hours, they were losing time fast and failing to post up in the results they wanted. In the end, they didn't have the floor entirely explored until the end of day 3. Only when more soldiers from higher floors came down were they able to human wave their way over the crest. Then, on floor 50, they encountered a literal pile of the wounded. The passage resembled a dark, dank, gloomy cave, the sounds of battle ringing in their ears. "Damn it!" came an enraged shout from beyond. "Those monsters have revived again!" Ahead of the group, a gigantic snake, like a living embodiment of darkness, had wriggled its way into the passage, growing as it blocked any forward progress. It was a tempest serpent, and the Empire's regular grade magic and gunfire couldn't even put a dent in its armor-like scales. If you wanted to take a sword to the serpent, its poison breath had a reach of well over 20 feet, bathing the target in a deadly mist before they'd ever come close enough. Bastard! These narrow passageways were practically made for these creatures. We could go around if we had enough space, but there's no way we can do that here. Can we get a Magizuka ready? Negative. We just fired it. It's got 2 hours left to recharge. A Magizuka was a new type of magical weapon, one of the most powerful types of portable offense the world had seen yet. Unlike the spell guns that ran on magic stones, these ran on charged magic, using magicules taken from the atmosphere. The spell tucked inside them was the elemental magic Airbuster, which compressed atmospheric air before firing out a series of concussive blasts. Easily aimed and not reliant on combustion for its force, it was an ideal piece of magic for inside buildings and other enclosed spaces. And it packed enough of a punch that just carrying one could earn you an A rank. The problem with a Magizuka, though, was the intense amount of energy it consumed. That's why it was designed to be rechargeable. But even in the magical-laden atmosphere of the labyrinth, a full recharge took 3 hours. Usually they'd be fast enough for most purposes, but here, that still wasn't enough. Whoa, are you kidding me? So these monsters are regenerating faster than we can kill them? The Tempest Serpent was clearly unique. There was a ring placed around its neck, giving it a presence that set it apart from other monsters. Most important of all, though, no matter how many times you beat it, it'd come back within 3 hours. In other words, no matter how many times they captured this floor, the battle would start all over again once enough time passed. And worst of all, no part of this floor was safe from the creature. But that still wasn't all. There's another one over there, too! Oh, I'm sorry. There's another one over here, too. The sound of warfare began echoing from another passage. No, that was not the only Tempest Serpent. In fact, they had confirmed the presence of at least 10. A tangled web of serpents, each ranking an A- in terms of danger, was dominating an area uniquely built to take full advantage of their characteristics. It was, simply put, a den of black snakes. Typically, the Tempest Serpent and its reserves would serve as the boss monster of floor 40. For this emergency, though, they had all been deployed at the same time on this floor. In the end, reinforcements from the upper floors came in to give them some better arms to work with. Only then did they have enough Magizukas to take on all the Tempest Serpents at once, and only late into the night of day 3 did they finally subdue them all. Right. We need to stay on this floor and watch for any more potential regenerations. Evacuate the sick and injured to the upper floors. Yes, sir! So the Imperial Army took this opportunity to reorganize their forces inside the labyrinth, and with that, they stepped forward into an even greater hell.
Meanwhile,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Reporting live from floors 51 to 60. It's gonna be
boy,
hell
that
on
level
earth.
49 to 50 seemed really bad. What's going on with 51 to 60 there, Richie?
I'm glad you asked. Let me report on that. Floor 51 featured a modern-looking passageway. The Empire had already gained control of this floor by the looks of things, and they could see soldiers at every corner. All the signs of fierce combat strewn around suggested that this was another hairy floor to tackle. One of the unit captains tried to make contact with the people on the field. "What's the situation?" he asked the guard sentry, trying to keep quiet enough not to wake the resting soldiers. "It's a mess. We really underestimated this demon lord." "What do you mean?" "The traps on this floor are awful. The path you see us guarding, every corner of it is the correct way. Don't even try to venture outside of it. I think we've destroyed most of the traps, but there might still be some activated ones out there." "All right. By the way," the captain asked for details he could report to his superior officers. The story he told involved a large number of chemical weapons, the likes of which not even the Empire made use of. There was a tasteless, odorless gas that damaged the eyes and throat, showers of neurotoxins and corrosive liquids, large vicious traps that ensnared lots of people at once. The soldiers all thought this sort of thing was the exclusive domain of the Empire, and that made it seem all the more threatening. From this floor on, you won't find any monsters. Instead, there are these damned magicule-powered golems roaming around. It looks like they're self-repairing, too. It took forever to fully dismantle them." "That sounds real tough." The captain wanted to talk about how tough he had it, too, but he kept silent, urging the sentry to go on. "Yeah, the injured and exhausted are resting down on floor 55. Make it there and you'll be able to eat in safety, at least." "Thanks." "So where's the front line at the moment?" "The front line? According to a story I just heard, it's on floor 60. Sounded like a joke to me, though. If we reported it up top, they're gonna think we lost our minds down here. It's crazy, but do you still want to hear it?" The captain had to nod at the sighing soldier. "Yes, please." "You sure? Well, okay then. Supposedly on floor 60, there's this giant humanoid weapon ruling over the place. And as for its strength, the more he heard, the sillier it sounded. That was how sublimely grand it was. Even an entire army of A-ranked warriors apparently couldn't find a glimmer of hope against this guy. Its entire body was made of magisteel, making it impervious to swords and guns, and it had a permanent barrier as well. Not even Magizukas worked on it. They had exhausted all options, and that was the latest the guard knew of. Also, apparently this giant golem talks, and get this, it sounds exactly like old Lord Ghidorah. It's totally unbelievable. And I'm supposed to report this? This is way above my pay grade." Despite the guard's valid complaints, the captain still felt obliged to report to his commanding officers and asked for their judgment. "We'll have to go in. I'll have us aim for floor 55 first. We'll discuss our future plans there." "Yes, sir." In a situation like this, the captain knew that his boss's reply was going to be yes and nothing else. He had no alternative ideas nor any other concerns with the plan, but this was kicking the can down the alleyway. They'd need a solid answer before long, but the word retreat simply didn't exist in the Imperial Dictionary. "You're going?" "Yeah, I'm sure you are. Well, good luck. But before you go, I forgot about one other warning. We've confirmed the presence of 5 special monsters in the area. Keep an eye out for them." "Special monsters?" "Yeah, nobody's successfully beaten them yet, as far as I know. They've got to be uniques. I'm sure of that, and they're nasty. They've killed several of my comrades already. They were a red slime, a golden skeleton, a deathly ghost, a heavy suit of living armor, and a small but powerful dragon." Yeah. By the way,
Yep.
these aren't inhabited. They're all on autopilot. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yep. This
Hard
vicious
mode.
band was apparently patrolling the halls around this set of floors, a highly unusual presence among the herd of golems. Encountering them, the guard warned, and you were as good as dead. The survivors from the upper floors took that advice to heart as they moved on. It would be just a bit longer before they knew what was waiting for them. Deeper and deeper they went, incessantly and in strict formation, not knowing of the killing fields awaiting them. Live from floors 61 to 70.
Why is everything on fire?
Should we be okay?
Hold on.
Are we liable if something happens
What?
to our man on the ground?
You still haven't won yet? I'm sorry, sir. Looks like we failed to achieve a breakthrough again. Hearing that report threw all the soldiers into despair. Floor 70 was home to a massive gate, a sort of boundary between this one and the great citadel of death. Ellipses. Ellipses. Ellipses.
Gotta love those dots.
Pushing their way through. I had to
That's
throw
the
it.
fucking Pac-Man jingle.
Yes.
Took me a
Yes.
second.
Yes.
I'm thinking of it from like the Mario Luigi series where they have the dots saying like,
No, I went Pac-Man because dot dot waka 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 waka
Yeah.
waka waka waka. Anyway,
Yeah.
pushing their way through the swarms of undead monsters, the Imperial soldiers swaggered across the labyrinth. It was going well at first. At first, anyway. All the monsters that appeared were of the undead variety. Get used to the stench of rotting meat, and it wasn't anything an Imperial soldier would have much trouble fending off. The first 1,000 troops sent here managed to establish a base of operations, and after meeting with others, they decided to continue the invasion downward. Losing contact with the surface was a painful blow, but they weren't completely isolated. More would arrive when the time came. They decided, and so it was not a major problem. One second. All
Pills
right.
here.
Yep, I gotta take my pills in a bit.
oh, right.
So, like a raging torrent, the troops stormed down the floors. On day one alone, they had explored and mapped out most of the terrain between floors 61 and 69. Nice.
Nice.
Hey.
There we go. There we go.
Probably isn't actually what the actually felt like, but yeah.
Floor 70 was the problem. For some reason, this floor was a large, hilly area, one where all the vegetation had withered away. It was the eerie remains of a battlefield, with a hint of death in the air. And at the far end of it loomed a massive gate, similar in size to the one up on the surface. Made of bones, it was located in the middle of a wall that surrounded a fortified city. Why was this in the labyrinth? That was the question on everyone's mind. Apart from this gate, there was no other entrance into the city. There were no drainage pipes, no service gates, none of the other facilities you'd expect to be required for regular life. It made sense. This city was occupied by the lifeless, the immortal undead, and on day one, its gates remained firmly shut. They tried to destroy the walls, but they proved tenaciously thick. Any section they destroyed, the undead would simply come swooping out to repair it. So the demolition work proceeded slowly, if at all. Even coming close to the wall exposed them to the armed skeleton archers up top. It was too much trouble to attack in small numbers, so the Empire forces decided to wait for reinforcements. On the morning of day 2, the Imperials now had over 10,000 troops on hand, and just as they were about to begin their attack, the large gates opened soundlessly, out of nowhere. Behind it awaited a hideous-looking White King. It was a skeleton, but was that the right word? Its pure white bones, polished to perfection, shone in the light as it spoke fluently to the soldiers. Welcome to my kingdom of Deathtopia. I am Adelman, the immortal king. Our preparations for the feast are complete. Now is the time to enjoy yourselves. Let us begin. Oh, sorry. Now is the time to enjoy ourselves. Let us begin. Dude, this is the perfect time to have him show up. It's Spooktober.
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
that's perfect.
That's true.
It is Spooktober.
Skeletons
and shivers down your spine.
Hold on, wait, we gotta-
All right, dude.
Do I not have any close
This
calls?
is the best time to have Adelman come out and do his Adel best.
Yeah.
All right, so
It's Adelman's time to shine.
it really
That's
is.
the closest I got.
All right,
Bone mangs.
bone mangs.
All the bone mangs.
Bone mangs. All right. Immediately after Adelman introduced himself, an oppressive wave rushed over the army. This king was served by a band of unholy death knights, along with a death dragon that still loomed in all its majesty, long after life had escaped its clutches. Its evil roar was unleashed with enough sheer force to flatten the entire space, and then, from the sky, the death dragon landed just past the gate. The deadliest of dragons, the king of the mountain, when it came to undead, had now bared its fangs at the Imperial army, and that wasn't all. Once the large gates fully opened, the legions of undead swarmed out from inside, massive armies of death knights, themselves led by a set of death lords, came crawling out, one after another. The soldiers lined up in front of the gate were immediately thrown into confusion as the battle suddenly began. The Death Dragon was an A-ranked monster, a fearsome adversary that required careful advanced preparation to take a whack at. Its attribute was undead, meaning that it could not be defeated unless its soul was directly attacked, and as proud as the Empire was of its great war power, if their foe was impervious to their attacks, they were helpless. Get back! We can't just go slashing at random. Damn it! We have to fight fire with fire here! No! He regenerates faster than he burns! You have to get out of here! If you don't, its miasma will hit you and rip your spirit apart! The army was in chaos, and as if to laugh at them, the dragon's jaw opened wide. Look out! That's... It's my body! It's bloody! The death dragon's zombie breath rained down from high above, bathing all its earthbound targets. The majority of them failed the resistance check and promptly stopped living. It literally says that.
That's literally the book.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And that
I'm
was
sorry, just like the Beyond failed.
Yeah.
Absolutely and titanically
Yeah.
just failed.
Nat
Flawless.
ones for
Nat ones
everyone.
across the board.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
And that wasn't all. For those contaminated by the dragon's miasma, became zombies themselves, readily obeying the orders of their superior beings. So what an amazing thing.
They
He
swapped
turned
sides, basically.
enemies into allies, baby. Enemies into allies. You literally
That's the
just
worst kind of enemy.
literally just doubled your army. That's beautiful.
Yep.
Okay. So here we go. All right. So themselves readily obeying the orders of their superior in this case, the superior being would be the White King in the area. In other words, Adelman. All the casualties the Empire took from the miasma were inversely proportional to the rise in Adelman's strength. And that wasn't the only tragedy for the Imperial force. Even those who managed to escape the Death Dragon's rampage weren't safe. For now, the Death Knights, spurred on their death horses as they chased down the would-be escapees. In the blink of an eye, the Empire's numbers were decimated, and in less than an hour, the force of 10,000 was wiped out. The devastation would be passed on to the rest of the army by the few people who survived, and now the battle for Floor 70 was in full swing. From day 2 onward, the Imperial Army made many attempts to break into Floor 70. The first one ended in painful defeat. The second and third saw similar results. Nothing was going their way, and the overwhelming threat of the Death Dragon was just the start of it. Although the numbers were only in the low thousands, the Death Knights experienced no death, no fatigue, no exhaustion. They earned an A- rank as a threat, and their regenerative skills kept them going no matter how many times they were beaten down. The Death Lords commanding them must have been on par with the best warriors the Empire could offer. They surpassed them in quality, even, and their army's ability to carry on fighting through untold damage far overcame their numerical disadvantage. On top of that,
not in this fight.
On top of that, Adelman had the Death Paladin, Alberto, working under him as part of the 10 Dungeon Marvels. Even the Imperial elites on the ground here couldn't find a way to fight against this army of immortals. But that will end with this offensive. I expect great things from you all. A colonel with the Imperial Army had just wrapped up his speech to his soldiers. He was part of a group from the upper floors who arrived here on day 4. They, along with the combined existing forces, were about to wage total war. The Empire wasn't incompetent, of course. There were all kinds of ways to deal with an undead army. If you had a marauding army of zombies out to kill humankind, holy magic was an all-purpose go-to. Humankind had committed sizable resources to researching and demystifying the principles of this holy magic, and the Empire had succeeded in developing techniques that had a similar effect as offering prayers to a higher being. People well versed in these techniques had been gathered from across the labyrinth and assigned to units here on floor 70. They'd provide resistance to the dragon's evil miasma and preventative power against the penetrative power against the undead attribute. That was the crux of this operation. The Imperial Army was now in formation atop the hilly terrain, numbering 70,000 in all. Adelman's forces, meanwhile, numbered less than 40,000, and even that was over the past few days. The Empire had a clear numerical advantage, and now every member of their force believed that victory would be theirs at long last. Then the decisive battle began, and the king made his move. "Think you've outsmarted me? Think again. Extra skill. Holy evil inversion." The immortal king had perfect control over all his forces, down to the end of the line. Once his power reached across his entire network, their weakness to the holy attribute was no longer an issue. The Empire, wholeheartedly relying on that weakness, would soon realize just how off-target their scheme was, and how massive their ensuing defeat would be. With that defeat, the Imperial soldiers' wills were broken. The survivors were driven to despair, frantically fleeing toward the upper floors. They completely forgot about the conditions of beating the dungeon. The only thing left in their minds was the thirst for life, the urge to survive.
Schadenfreude.
Man, there is a scene happening on floors 71 through 79. We're going to have to move on
What
to
can
our...
you tell us, Richie?
Well, not much, unfortunately. We're going to have to move on to our correspondent, Shem.
Oh,
Up
okay.
on that. But before that, Just Here Bro is now following us. Thank you for that.
Hey!
Woo!
So I'm gonna hand things. Shim didn't actually get his full 30 minutes, so I'm giving it back to him for a moment. So there we go.
Okay.
Thank you. Hey guys, hey there.
Hey.
We're currently having fun
Welcome aboard.
listening to the forces of Tempest rip the Empire a new asshole. So
yeah.
Not even just the labyrinth part.
yeah, just the labyrinth part,
Yeah,
not
this
even the
is-
whole thing. This is
Just
just
the labyrinth having
Yeah.
its way, you know.
so
Yeah.
tell us, Shim, what's going on over on good old.
It looks like
floor
we lost
71?
Richie and
Well, Richie.
Lord 70. Or on the 60
I
floors.
would say that the previous floor had a bunch of people that I would
Oh, you-
say that the
you
army
didn't-
gave him a bone, but
You didn't lose me. That's just as high as that's just how high I can go
That's
right
as high
now.
as your pay grades will
That-
let
yeah,
you go.
well, that's just that. My insurance only covers me up to floor 70. Yeah.
Shem gets better, has the better insurance.
No. His
What?
insurance only covers him. His insurance doesn't cover him on the lower floors. That's the problem. See?
Ah.
Yeah. It's just
That's the problem.
It's unfortunate.
Neither
It's
didn't have great
unfortunate.
insurance on this. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunately we didn't get the full coverage Tempestian insurance.
yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't cover the
Someone
full
split the
dungeon
The
experience.
insurance contract down the middle.
Shame.
Yeah.
You get
They missed
first-
the enrolling period.
Yeah, I
Their
know,
loss.
Get the
right?
other.
Right. So Shim,
Why
if you
gotta keep
could,
track of that.
Shim, if you could,
Yes.
unless you guys want to take a
Okay.
break for a second and talk about like that, but I figured
They
we'd
got
wait until we got to the
fucked.
end.
They entered the bone zone.
They got boned,
yeah.
all right. That's
That
for
was a
sure.
pleasure to read or to listen to. Oh, that was a pleasure to listen to.
If you ever abridge
Also,
that, is
props
that gonna
on
be a
voicing
joke?
Adelman. I like that.
Oh,
voice
that
acting
was.
for him.
Oh, you
It
liked
was
that, did
cool.
you?
I like that. It was cool.
I,
I like
I
I
it.
still
had
kind
some-
of like to think that it's like that's his voice for fighting, and then anywhere else
Yeah.
he still sounds like Skeletor.
It's me.
I
Adelman.
forgot
I like
about
your phone
Skeletor.
voice, but
I
yeah.
forgot. I wanted to go.
No, it's fine.
That's
He's
okay.
putting on an
I like
act for
both.
this.
I did.
He's putting on an act.
I figured. I was like,
gotta
oh,
look
okay.
intimidating.
Let's go for it. Let's just go for it. I was like, I forgot about the Skeletor part, so I just went. I
Yeah.
went for like, all right, let's do this for real. For real. Let's just go for real. For real. It's been months. I forgot
realsies.
about Skeletor.
Yeah.
If somebody
It's
had
okay. It's
reminded
been-
me about
it's been way too
Skeletor,
long.
I'd have been, welcome
I
to
was just
my
letting you pop
evil
off.
lair.
You're not even here alive. I
Yeah.
will actually get you.
I was
I
like,
like both, so.
I could not remember. I was like, did I do him as Skeletor? Is that what
I just like the headcanon that he's like that when he's not fucking around, but like
Yeah.
he uses the other voice when he's like,
I love you,
all right, serious
Lord
mode.
Rimuru.
yeah.
Skeletor in the
Look,
streets.
they know what's at
Death in
stake,
the
so he's
sheets.
like,
No,
I
no,
gotta put my A game on.
No.
Skeleton in the
No,
streets,
no.
big
Ske-
boner in
no,
the
no.
The shit.
No.
Yeah.
Skeletor in the Fungeon, Beast in
Oh,
the
God.
Dungeon.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, done.
Skeletor in the
Alright.
dungeon, beast in the dungeon. I love it.
Yeah.
Labyrinth floors 71 through 79.
Let's do it.
Yep. The soldiers dropped off on these floors were instantly forced into a never-ending battle against swarms of insects. Their onslaught was incessant, unafraid of death. They continually attacked, not letting up for a moment. For the troops sent here on day one of the Labyrinth invasion, the first 24 hours against these swarms were a sobering experience, but not a truly fearsome one. Building their base in a passageway they gained control of, they immediately stepped up to take countermeasures. These insects, dozens of times larger than regular ones, were not only terrifying sights, they packed a punch too. A down your guard, and you'd be eaten alive in a matter of seconds. Keep your cool though, and you'd realize that each individual one wasn't that strong. Plus, these swarms never stopped attacking. That meant the potential for magic crystal harvesting was enormous. It was all prime quality too, lighting up the faces of every soldier. This is no big deal, they thought. A regular adventuring party would have no way to take a breakdown here. Their fatigue would build up, and sooner or later they'd stop giving 100%. But these soldiers didn't have to worry about that. If a skilled army wanted to conquer these floors, a bunch of bugs wasn't going to stop it. Even if you counted each individual insect, the Empire still outnumbered them. They could also work in ships during the battle, always keeping themselves in perfect battle shape. So the force gradually expanded its network of bases, smoothly proceeding along. They were given no time to relax, but in a way, that was the only real issue. The rewards they reaped, on the other hand, were massive. The insect paradise was lined with all kinds of hidden rooms, caves hidden in trees, dark caverns, and so on. They often housed powerful monsters, but they also held treasure chests, and their contents kept the soldiers constantly smiling with glee. One of them had just found a dagger inside the last room's chest, a pricey-looking number done up with gold and silver. It was a capable blade, too, or capable blade as well, its sheen belying its magisteel make. Weapons with magisteel cores were expensive enough, but the blade's pure magisteel, well, that'd make any rank-and-file soldier beam. During the briefings, these soldiers were told that any magic crystals and other items recovered were the property of the military. However, smaller items like this dagger would very likely be overlooked. All their gear would be inspected later, but considering the soldier carrying this blade had to defeat the boss guarding it, it was very likely he'd get to keep it. His comrades eyed him enviously, but at the same time, they were all expecting it to be their turn next. If it wasn't for the chance at little side benefits like this, none of them would keep standing here, swatting giant flies the whole day. By this time, they were also collecting quite a lot of magic crystals. Crystals of this purity were usually scarce finds, but the monsters here dropped them like they were going out of style. The soldiers were laughing all the way to the bank, as it were, and at this rate, they were likely to rake in the bonuses. From what they heard over the grapevine, it was pretty much the same deal up and down the floors. This section crawling with undead was a real disaster, though. You couldn't plunder anything from those guys, but they were about a notch harder to kill. Meanwhile, the return on investment these bugs offered was second to none. The treasure they uncovered was more than satisfactory, at least, and everyone there was under the happy delusion that they'd be rolling in dough once they were back. Things started going awry on day 2.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I love
It's just
it.
I love this
You
pattern.
know, this ain't so bad. Day 2.
Hang on.
I love.
Yeah,
Hang on,
day 2,
hang on.
things are not going great.
Read that last sentence one more time.
Things started going awry on day 2.
I love this
The
pattern.
next day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this.
One soldier
pattern. Yeah.
Oh, this is going to
The
be great.
next
I love
day.
it. One soldier
Where's the
realized
SpongeBob
that when...
sound? Dang it.
Where's
Oh.
the SpongeBob what?
The next day. You know
Yeah.
that?
No,
The
no,
next
no, no. See, when you
Like
say the next
12
day, when you
hours
say the next
later.
day, I don't think SpongeBob. I literally think of Majora's Mask.
Oh,
Dawn
yeah,
of the final
that.
day.
The fucking
Yeah.
Whatever
moon.
that sound
24
effect
hours
is.
remain. Yeah.
24 hours remain. Like, oh, God.
24 hours until Zegian rises from the fucking earth. Actually, no, I don't
Dawn
think
of
they're
the
there.
next
They're not
day.
this one.
Dawn
Yeah.
of the next day.
Yeah.
Next.
One soldier realized. Yep. And then he had to start all over. Well, oh, is that they don't get to start over? They're just boned. Anyway.
There's
Oh, yeah, they're dead.
Yeah. One soldier realized that when, before his wide open eyes, the head of his buddy walking next to them was suddenly rolling by itself along the ground.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
Well.
Damn.
Good.
that
Didn't
escalated
even see what
quickly.
decapitated him.
Yeah, just, well.
So
Yeah, so when we get back, we're gonna have a wild night at... Huh? His buddy's head had what
If
could
you
only
need
be
me to
described
do-
as a puzzle
if you
expression.
need me to do
Huh.
yells and screaming, I will do those.
I can try.
He's very good
I
at
can
that.
try.
No, it's fine if you prefer not to disturb your neighbors or anybody in your
Oh, I'll
house.
be fine.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll try.
Okay.
Try my best.
That's, yeah.
His buddy's head had what could only be described as a puzzled expression as his glassy eyes looked up at the headless corpse, still standing above. His soundless voice stopped midway, his mouth still open as blood spurted out like a fountain, raining all over his comrades. Whoa! The soldier screamed. The sudden catastrophe that befell the person he had just been talking to was too much to comprehend at first, but even that soldier was lucky, because he was chosen as the next victim before his brain could comprehend anything else. Ooh.
Well, I don't know why. Suddenly, when you said blood splattering everywhere, why did that remind me of Hellsing Ultimate? I could literally picture it just in that animation.
Hey, silver lining.
One of them things.
Hey, silver lining. I can cancel my room service.
The labyrinth cleaning is
Well.
gonna be build's gonna be a bitch.
I know. Oh, I know why you're angry. It's because I went to Brazil.
I went to
isn't it?
Brazil, isn't it?
Oh God. Well.
Wait,
Anyway,
Rimuru wants a hug.
Lord Rimuru.
All right, anyway.
What's wrong?
Yep.
Oh,
You
wait,
came
wait,
into
wait,
this
hold-
dungeon with so much confidence. Don't you
I
want to
don't
kill
know
me?
what's-
Don't you want to defeat me? Give me a hug.
Yeah,
I don't know
exactly.
what's made you more angrier. The fact that you're doing the Rimuru's bidding, or you clearly haven't seen what I've done to the statue of Big R.
You clearly haven't seen what I did to the statue of your emperor.
Of Lord Rimuru.
Oh, you clearly haven't seen what I did to the statue of Lord Ludora.
No, he would be talking to Veldora, is the
No,
thing.
no, not Veldora.
Ludora.
Ludora, their
The
emperor.
Ludora, yeah. Yeah.
Lots of Dora names, I know.
Ludora, the emperor,
the
like literally the emperor of the empire is named Ludora.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
the one that has the
So names. I tend
Yeah.
to forget names.
Ludora,
okay. It's been a
Gudora,
bit.
Veldora,
yeah.
Dora the
Ledora.
Explorer.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Dora, the
Dora,
By the way, that
Explorer,
reminds
you know.
me. That reminds
yes.
me. What date is Halloween falling on? Oh, it's a Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah,
Tuesday.
it's kind of
Yeah,
lame. We're not gonna get one on
sadly.
a Friday for like 3 more years.
That
lame.
okay? So funny enough.
Mhm.
Funny enough.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Moon,
Yes.
you're not working on Halloween.
I'm not.
We can do some Halloween stuff on Tuesday.
Yes, we can.
Halloween.
That would be fun.
I got my
Let's
my
do some
costume,
Halloween
I got my
stuff.
robes.
Let's do some Halloween
This
stuff.
is Halloween.
This is Halloween.
Halloween.
Fuck you.
Halloween.
Don't steal my stuff.
Halloween.
Bro, you can come up here and we can do some Halloween stuff.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It's true.
Yeah.
Some
Guys,
drinking.
if you want to help Moon
Yes.
come up here for Halloween and do some Halloween stuff, you can donate to Moon.
I don't have a way for them to send me money.
Patreon.
Yeah.
I don't have one yet.
Well, no, the fat dog one.
I have
Okay.
a PayPal. I have a PayPal that you can send. I can help Moon get money.
Yeah, just send it as a message like moon.
Moon money
fun.
or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Moon money.
Moon
The,
money.
the Lunar
Money for
Express.
yeah.
The money for the Lunar Express. There we
Money
go.
for the Lunar
Yeah,
Express.
Lunar
Oh my
Express.
god.
That sounds pretty. I want to go on a Lunar Express.
On a
No, like, I'd
Lunar
probably
Express.
just take that
That
Wednesday
sounds
off
nice.
anyways and just. Yeah.
Cuddling with Moon. Yes.
Yeah. Be a nice
Well, you
time.
gotta
Very
hug.
cool.
By that
Alright, you
time,
two gotta
hug
by
at
that
least
time,
then.
by that time, I
Yeah.
should have my fucking furniture so I can give Moon the blow up mattress so he'll have
Give
his
me the
own
what?
bed.
Okay.
The
well,
blow-up
I'll give you the
mattress.
blow-up something.
Oh, I'll give you the blow, all right.
Oh
Moon are
boy.
funny.
Oh boy, we
Yeah.
can't stream
Maybe we should
that.
go back to
Can't
floor
stream
69.
that.
Yeah.
I'll touch your butt.
Just straight to the point. Just pull it all
Look,
over it.
we just can't do anything too much. No hand holding, okay?
Yeah.
All right, we both
too
need to
much.
dress up like Jesus because I need to do Jesus fucking Christ.
Well. Holy
Oh, bend over.
All right. So which one of you is getting the rest of the Alvera that I gave Shem earlier? Who's getting it?
Did you forget the word aloe vera?
Aloe vera. I blanked on a
Aloe
second
vera.
for a second. I was laughing.
shit. Doesn't
a
make
bit.
good lube, believe me.
And also,
does not make good
there's no
bird.
birds happening here.
There's no birds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is consensual.
Does not help the
Yeah.
All we
chafing.
need is the lube.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have good lube, no one's getting a friction burn.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
All right. Anyway,
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
continuing on with the
Hey,
guy
bud.
whose head just rolled off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, you're just a
His
tiny
head
Heads
fell
are
off.
definitely
Head
rolling
cut off.
here. Let me tell you that.
All right. Anyway, I was gonna
Yeah.
say you were coming up here, and I could introduce you to like some of my friends and stuff, and then you'd actually get to meet Revan.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
We're just going,
Oh,
going
dude,
back to the
Because,
book
like,
in the neck
if I was
of time.
gonna do that, I would come up there
The
for like the
neck
full
of
weekend.
time.
Dude,
Sunday,
there's
Monday,
some
Tuesday.
there's some cool shit that we could actually do here and film for Fat Dog. I'd be like, dude,
Mm.
I'd be like, hey Tony, we've got some cool shit that we
Tony.
could do. Like number one,
Yeah, just make a vlog out of it.
we could go to the trampoline park and do some dumb shit.
Yeah.
You could
Love
do, yeah, you
trampolines.
could literally do like the hot sauce challenge with the two of you. And see
I
how you
am
two
not
react to
doing the hot
higher
sauce
and higher
challenge.
sauces.
That's
not
not
happening.
That is
That
not
sounds
happening.
awful.
Yeah.
No, we would go to the trampoline park at least.
We're trying to have fun. not
Funny
have
enough,
fun.
Yeah.
funny
yeah.
enough,
Try not to
next
kill each other.
I think next to the trampoline park is also where one of the haunted houses that they set up is going to be. And
Cool.
that's
Fun.
all right, bowling alley, Planet Fitness, trampoline park, haunted house. Like in that whole area is right over where
Nice.
it's all at. So it's like, dude.
That's kind of a cool block.
Yeah, right? And
A
it's like
bunch of cool events, just one after the other after there.
it's like all in one little
do the whole
area and
line.
it's like maybe 5 minutes from here.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
It's the
Sounds
longest
like a good
drive
time
I've
to
ever
me.
taken, but it'd be fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, dude, it's like a 5-hour drive
Yeah.
for you. Technically, it's a 4-hour drive for you because you're going backwards in time.
Backwards in time.
Yeah.
You're
Let's
going.
not
You gotta
about
go
that.
back in time.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
Let's do the
Speaking
time.
Here's the
of
thing.
speed
Here's the thing. If you
and-
think about it like this, if you're driving to Nashville, you are actually engaging in time travel.
Oh my god.
Neat.
Just don't ever go 88 miles per hour. ever.
I mean, if you do,
And
you'll
the
see
whole
some
trip,
serious
No, if
shit.
I'm on the
You're gonna see
right
some
roads, I can
serious
definitely
shit.
do 88, if not faster.
I mean,
like,
here's the other funny thing. If you
No,
actually,
but you're violating the speed
if you
limit.
actually did do a flight from like Atlanta to Nashville, it'd be number one, it'd be a very quick flight, and number two, the airport is 15 minutes away from me.
it's not bad.
Yeah.
But that'd have to be
Yeah,
a
it
way
depends
out
on
the
what's
cost sort
cheaper.
of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I can look that up in a second, but after stream.
Also, I will also point out that there are two conventions that are about 15 to 20 minutes away from me that occur next year. There is MTAC, Middle Tennessee Anime Convention, and there is a KaiCon, which we happen to know two people that run a KaiCon. We happen to know two people that are involved with a KaiCon.
Do you have ins?
We know people. We can do panels potentially for a KaiCon. I'm not saying that we necessarily have an in. I'm past those days of saying I got an in. No, I don't. Just because I know people doesn't mean I have an in.
I'm in.
No,
I got people.
that's
I know.
not what that means.
I've got
That is
connections.
not what that means. I have connections. That does not guarantee me jack shit. Does not guarantee me.
Isn't it
jack
based
shit.
on a
I
lottery
didn't
system
say it
anyway?
guaranteed anything. I just said you had connections.
Yeah, I have connections. That does not mean I get anything. Anyway, let's finish this chapter. Let's finish this chapter.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's finish this chapter at breakneck speeds.
I'll try.
Let-
Okay.
Let's not break anybody's neck.
Well, someone's neck's already
Yeah.
been broken here, so.
I don't know if I have the spine to do it.
No,
but,
no.
we'll see.
His
No
head's
need to
been
lose your
sliced. Well, too late.
Anyway.
Guess he was just ahead of the game.
But
Oh. Fucking.
Thank God the
Yeah.
headless horseman doesn't have a headless horse. That would be chaos.
does have a neck.
That would suck.
That would
Have
be
you been
fucking
watching my
chaos.
Konosuba reactions?
No.
I had some words about that. I thought that was stupid. It was funny, but it was stupid.
Dude, no,
Yeah.
no. I was listening to Mitch Hedberg recently. That's the problem.
Oh, nice.
Anyway,
Anyway, his head fell with a thud.
Uh-huh.
And like the mute corpse he was next to, the man quickly expired. He died on floor 79, a place full of flowers in dazzling bloom. One had thought of it as a safe zone until now. It was worth waiting a day for this. All this praise come right to my doorstep. Thank you so much for coming. Now it's time to let us kill and feed off of you. The voice was clear as day, an attractive one, booming across the entire floor. It spoke the words of a queen, for it belonged to Apito, the insect queen and boss of this floor. Her beautiful voice was converted into thought waves that reached every corner of the area, and to her faithful servants. They had the timbre of an order. Some ellipses. Apito had led a swarm of army wasps, a group of murderous insects nearly a foot long whose super senses could catch their human prey no matter how well they hid. Their small transparent wings function as fearsome high-frequency rotor blades, letting them easily perform irregular high-speed maneuvers. They were the silent killers of the insect world, sneak up on you at the speed of sound. Excellent dynamic vision wouldn't mean anything against army wasps. Without exceeding the intrinsic limits of the human body, it'd be impossible to so much as detect them. The extra skill combination of hastened thought and ultra-speed reaction were the bare minimum requirements to keep track of their movements. Just one wasp was classified as an over-A disaster. Incidentally, in the Western nations, the sighting of even one army wasp caused the authorities to issue a state of emergency, be immediately reported to the top echelons of each army or in each nation's military, who would then form a posse of senior-level
Posse.
knights. Posse, okay, posse, excuse me, a posse of senior-level knights, including the Crusaders, if possible. It would become a large-scale cleanup operation featuring knights cornering wasps with holy barriers and weighing them down with weakening and slowing magic spells before doing them in. Even with that strategy, at least some casualties were always a given. That's how fearsome a monster they were. If more than one was uncovered, meanwhile, that dramatically increased the danger even more. So how many were under the Insect Queen's control? Ellipses. The number of army wasps carrying out Apito's orders easily exceed 1,000.
holy shit!
Oh.
Damn.
1,000?
Oh. Yeah. And so before long, the wholesale Costco slaughter began. Anyone who might have thought, yeah, I can take them, was doomed. even if they were A-ranked powerhouses, unless they had achieved a certain level in their fighting skill. They were little removed from a rank amateur. If you couldn't react to an army wasp's speed, all that awaited was certain death. And so it took less than 10 minutes before all the Imperial soldiers gathered on this floor were killed.
You get an army wasp,
Good.
and you get an army wasp, and you get an army wasp.
Considering one is a fucking like national emergency, and there's 1,000 here.
One hurricane wasp is
fucked.
equal to Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah, they
Dang.
got fucked.
She
Again.
has 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all at her disposal. Labyrinth floors 81 through 90.
Yeah, Shem, tell
Let's
us
be
what's
frank
going on in
about-
the 80s.
Let's be frank
I
about
love
it.
the 80s.
So a
This
lot of
whole
synth
room's
music.
gonna be red
Yeah.
and beyond red, and then later brown.
Ew.
Oh,
These guys
God.
brought their brown pants.
They
Gee.
better have.
They better.
I hope
Let's
they
be
did.
frank about it. Day one was just a little warm up.
Frank.
All the surviving soldiers thought so. Their comrades were gone, all killed by monsters that had the strength of demons or ancient gods. But they weren't the only ones ruining their fates. The same tragedy was playing out on other floors. Everyone was now locked in a desperate battle, forced to fight powerful enemies at every single floor, with no chance of victory.
Mhm.
Great. Awesome.
Outstanding.
Floor 81. Oh my god. Okay. Floor 81 was a paradise for magical beasts, strutting around with their powerful bodies and forming great herds. But these were still dumb brutes, and an Imperial soldier could defeat one of them with ease. On average, the strength of each individual ranked a B or higher, probably, and they usually appeared in groups of 3 to 5. That had the potential to surprise an unprepared soldier, but not enough to get anyone killed. So they found the stairs before long, quickly meeting up with a 1,000-strong force thrown into floor 82. Not a bad day's work overall, they felt. It might take some time, but with a few days to work with, they ought to have this whole thing conquered before long. And then day 2 came, and the arrival of a certain new adversary changed everything. On floor 82, a dense jungle, from end to end, was a sentient ape who spoke the human's language. It was called simply the White Monkey, and it controlled both the wind and sound, calling forth mighty storms as it flew across the sky. Its beautiful white pelt shone attractively across its supple physique,
Man,
and the
that's
way it
like
ran
double
unfettered
racist.
across. Oh my god. Just barely hearing it out of the corner of my ear. Good.
Yeah, the white monkey.
the-
Man, that's double racist.
The white monkey. That white monkey.
That
funky monkey.
All right. No,
Yeah.
no, he's white. He can't be funky.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Play that fucking
The way-
music, white.
It's like white monk. White ape.
White.
Anyway. Yeah. But the way it ran unfettered across every inch of the battlefield was so fetching that it almost created the illusion of watching a rehearsed performance. Its unique form of combat, using a mix of martial arts and a club in its hand, was paired with a seemingly never-ending array of aerial killing techniques. Add to that the vorpal blades it shot in all directions, and the White Monkey was one of the most dangerous magical beasts in existence. In very little time, the White Monkey had used its sorcery to bring the Imperial army to the brink of destruction. Then after an hour of this rampage, it left like the wind, shouting, "I'll be back!" as it did. The regular raids from the Simian Menace would begin 2 days later.
No.
One
it's,
after another.
I'll be back.
I'll be back.
I'll
be back.
Yeah.
Problems. Yeah.
And then he's like, "There's
The
no
white
bathroom." And
The White Monkey will return.
Put that
Move
cookie
that
down now.
Yeah. Nah.
All right.
One after another, soldiers and their comrades fell. They had fought with every bit of the pride they held as Imperial subjects, but they had all been defeated. The sniper team's shots were blocked by the monkey's storms. Spells that affected its strength or status were blocked by its sorcery. Spellgun-driven magic wasn't strong enough to overcome its wind barrier that only left close quarters combat, and even the best the restructured armor core had to offer were just being led around by the nose. They were being tossed around by the White Monkey like children, and then, whenever time was up, it would simply leave. The reason? Simple. It was waiting for more Imperial soldiers to show up. At first, they ferociously resented being toyed with like this. Now they just wanted this ape to go away. Now there were less than 1,000 survivors, and one soldier among them wondered how much longer he had to live. He couldn't just understand how it came to this, no matter how much he thought about it. Then he spotted a white figure. When did the gears start to go out of sync? Before he could find the answer, a dark curtain fell over his vision. Well... Floor 83 featured an expansive grassland with good visibility from end to end. There were pitfalls and other bush league traps set up, but they posed no obstacle at all. The weather was fine, and the faces on the marching forces bright, but on the night of day 2, the Empire suffered staggering damage. The moon had just shifted from waxing to full, and now it framed a lofty, high-minded rabbit in the air. This was the moon rabbit, the master of gravity, and its attacks made no distinction between friend or foe, but here it didn't need to worry about the former. Although its powers depended on the moon phase, the rabbit was capable of turning heaven and earth upside down even during a new moon. Now the Imperial army was at the mercy of this crushing super gravitational force, but it wasn't over. Night would come again soon enough, and in 3 days, a full moon, the night when the rabbit's power was strongest. Floor 84 was an intricate maze of cobblestone alleyways. The soldiers walking them seemed pale. Water. I need water. No dice. I can't reach our supply team. You'll have to hold out. Shit. It's only been 3 days. I'm so damn thirsty. I can't eat without any water. The surgically enhanced soldier was crying about his uncontrollable thirst. It was a hard scene to believe, but it wasn't his fault. Because the Empire was confident in its ability to create drinking water with magic, they had supplied each soldier with only enough to fill their canteen. A portable food supply, the higher-ups felt, was much more of a priority. Now was this army's downfall. The air on this floor was filled with some kind of toxin, and there wasn't enough evaporated water in the air to magically collect. This situation was only discovered on day 3 when some soldiers began to fall ill. Plus, in a particularly nasty turn of events, antidote magic didn't work on this poison. No matter how many times they tried to undo the toxin's effect, it just kept leaking into their water supply. They could breathe normally, at least, but before much longer, they were going to face some serious attrition. Even now, they were having frontline soldiers collapsing from the pain, exhibiting high fevers and black spots on their skin. We got another one! He's lost too much strength. He needs treatment. Damn it! I've got no medics in here. Any healing magic? It's not having any effect. And so more and more their comrades fell, and every Imperial soldier who was there to see it wondered if they would be next. Now tiny monsters were running around at their feet in the midst of all this. They were black-furred mice, not even 2 inches long, and they seemed so trivial that the soldiers paid them no mind. This was a serious mistake, for the mice were the very source of all this. In fact, they were the minions of the Black Mouse, the floor boss, the plague monarch spreading a dark, foul illness. The soldiers had made a terrible mistake. So distracted they were by the powerful magical beast trotting around that they totally ignored a little black mouse they could have crushed with one step. These servants of the Black Mouse were thus free to spread their germs with abandon. If someone with Shinji's restorative skills were here, maybe they could have disabled the trap placed on this floor. But sadly, no such handy doctor was present. Magical healing tended not to work very much on illness. It was meant more for physical injury, although certain other spells were better honed to deal with particular diseases. Boosting a patient's physical strength didn't matter much if the root of the disease wasn't cured. Injury and disease, after all, required 2 completely different schools of treatment. If you needed someone who could totally cure a disease, well, there were only 1 or 2 holy magic practitioners of that caliber per nation. Oh, they were rare treasures, and barring special circumstances, they never served in military combat. Death spread its tendrils across this floor as well. Floor 85 was dominated by a royal tiger patrolling the thick, deciduous forest that was its domain. The magical beasts that roamed freely on the other floors were completely under this tiger's thrall. This ruler was the Thunder Tiger, a big cat that controlled lightning. While the Empire thought it had the upper hand before it showed up, this perceived advantage didn't last long. But rapidly on the defensive, they were forced back to their base by the stairway. The forest belonged to the monsters, and despite being literally cornered to one edge of it, the soldiers continued their struggle. Floor 86 was a desert, occasionally dotted by oases. The sun shone brightly, the temperature rising every minute it was in the sky. When it left at night, the cold chilled to the bone. The temperature difference was so great that it sapped the strength of many soldiers before battle even began. They assumed the climate would be their greatest enemy here, and while they weren't wrong, they weren't exactly right either. The real trap was the oxygen in the air. The winged snake was here, and the domain it ruled over was the air. Controlling its composition, reducing the oxygen level to 0, for example, was like taking candy from a baby. And when the soldiers assumed the temperature difference was something they'd get over after some rest, that was all it took to ensure a peaceful passing in their sleep for every one of them. They got off easy. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Floor 87 was, for some reason, a vast mountain range. The tranquil views reminded many soldiers of their families back home, and they let themselves reminisce for a moment. They could bask in their happy childhoods and envision lovers they dreamed of seeing once more. It took just under 5 days for them to become fully relaxed. That was partly thanks to the low monster rates around the peaks. Unlike many other floors, it was difficult to maintain alertness, and that was why when they never noticed that the guards on duties had fallen asleep, never waking up. They only seemed awake thanks to their hallucination in their minds. This was the work of the sleeping ram, a peace-loving soul that with its gentle invitations had reaped the consciousness of all the soldiers without a drop of bloodshed. The sleeping ram's illusory hypnosis had lured them to sleep, a sleep they would never awaken from. Holy shit. Floor 88, a forest bordering a great river, was home to a bird of raging flames. Strangely, this flame never spread itself to the surrounding trees. It could only burn those who were hostile to it, and when it did, it went on forever, never fading. This was the Firebird, the master of the flames, and it served as the floor boss here. This Firebird and the other avian creatures that served under it quickly burned all the invading soldiers to a crisp. Floor 89 was a maze made of mirrors. Nothing organic played a role on this floor. It was immaculately maintained, with every mirrored surface polished to a fine sheen. All the reflections on the walls, of course, complicated the maze further for the intruders, and the mirrors themselves were unbreakable. Why? Because they were created with a secret spell from a single monster, the Mirror Dog, flitting across every reflective surface. Running freely among the mirrors, it toyed mercilessly with the Imperial army. It existed within the mirrors themselves, mirrors that bounced all magic back to the casters. This made it hard to so much as catch the Mirror Dog in action, and as it reflected itself more and more, multiplying to seemingly infinite numbers, the pitiful prey were all devoured. At every level, vicious floor bosses were on the rampage. Each had been granted an environment best suited for their traits, allowing them to demonstrate their abilities to the fullest. Still, the Imperial army tried their hardest to resist. Sometimes they were even capable of defeating these, or even able to defeat these bosses, cheers erupting across the floor whenever they did. They came right back to life, again and again, and that truth frightened them more than anything else. The situation on the other floors was much the same, as the rumor mill had it. The realization broke the soldiers' hearts, as it made continuing the fight seem utterly pointless. And as for the most desperate among them all, the monkey, rabbit, mouse, tiger, snake, ram, bird, and dog were all mystic beasts, the 8 legions serving under Kumara, nothing more than her cherished pets. Each one was a transformation born from one of her tails, and their respective abilities were granted by Kumara herself. When all 8 came together, that was when Kumara took her full form. She was no longer a child, but one of the world's most beautiful women. 9-head Kumara, guardian of floor 90, the master of these 8 mystic beasts, and now a group of foolish, pathetic victims were coming her way. They were nothing but food for Kumara. Thus the death toll within the labyrinth climbed that much higher. 530,000 Imperial soldiers invaded the labyrinth. Just a few days later, the number of survivors dropped to 0. Holy shit.
All right.
Got fucking annihilated.
Here's the thing I want to point out. Did you notice the one floor that did not get reported on?
90
Oh,
itself.
Yeah.
No.
Wait. No. Are you talking about like the
No.
animal floors?
No. Kumara was floor 90. Kumara got reported on.
Oh.
Floor 80
Oh.
did not get reported on.
Mm-hmm. 0, huh?
Floor 80 is Zegian's floor.
Yeah.
That's the one character that did not get reported on.
He left no survivors.
That's the one that did not get a report. So, I want you to understand there's a reason for that. And it's pretty freaking interesting. No, there's a reason. No, there's a reason why that didn't get... No, it's not Dead Men Tell No Tales. The reports that are coming in are the reports that are being viewed by Rimuru and the rest of the crew from their little station. It's not... These aren't things that are just being reported on from... I mean, we are experiencing them from the point of view of these fucking foolish Imperials, but that's just beautiful.
It's extremely foolish.
Oh yeah. So
they're getting
we got to see the Tempest forces from the point of view of what is essentially a bunch of normies that came in thinking they were the shit.
Normies.
Now we've got chapter 4. We've got chapter 4 coming up. I want you to understand something really quickly about chapter 4. The rest of the book is chapter 4.
Well,
That is
the
how
rest,
much?
The rest, it's this much. All right.
That's
here's
probably going to take about 2 or 3 weeks.
58% the way through the book.
this is how much of the book we have done so far. This is the rest of the book.
So about half of it.
Yeah, we've done a bit more than half. So the rest of the book is that. The next chapter is called Total Victory. It's not ending.
Oh yeah.
The book is not ending until this shit is done. At least the rest of what is this war will wrap up in this book. Or at least I would call the Empire wants to call this a war. I would call this a battle.
No.
I would
Can we
call
call
this
it a
battle.
draw?
A draw?
would-
No. This was
The
far
Empire
wouldn't
wants
even call
to
it that.
have
This is more like a
negotiable
slaughter.
terms.
This is far too
This is
one-sided.
a massacre.
This is far too
This is
one-sided.
a massacre.
This is far too one-sided to call this a draw. And considering it only
No.
and I don't know any wars that only took a week.
And I don't know any wars where everyone who was killed was revived back to life
Here's my thing.
and kept taunting people.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing, guys. Here's my thing, guys. This only took a week because Tempest was playing with its food.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason it took a week. Right now, Tempest is playing with its food. If they wanted, they could have literally just shoved everybody into the labyrinth and been like, kill him.
Yep.
Kill him.
They
Do it.
could have.
They could
It
have.
will amuse me.
They
Like-
could have
It
just
would have
let
been a
the,
really
uh,
short chapter.
This is
primordials
this is
out.
literally just the ultimate example of they did not know who they were fucking with. But there's a lot more interesting stuff to come in this. There is more interesting shit that will be abounding. And we're gonna get some more flexing going on. It's gonna get good. It's gonna get real good. And guys, for those of you going, oh man, you told them a bunch of stuff that's gonna be happening in later books. They've already forgotten. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, it's
They don't remember. Like, it's okay.
I might
it's been a
remember it
couple
when we
months for
read
a
it.
lot of this too, to be fair. So
They might remember when they read it. That's about it. Yeah.
that's the best way of remembering it.
Just be like, oh,
So-
that was the thing you talked about. Oh.
that bit.
So guys-
I remember.
Holy shit.
So guys, what did you think?
This is a joy to
It's
read.
funny.
I think
watching
it was
those ants
ass.
just go into the hill and just die and die and die and die.
It's I mean, what a varied
sleep
way.
and then die.
We've had like all these floors that we're going through and seeing all these ways that these fucking Imperials are just getting tore up. They had the warning when they went through the gate. They were warned.
This is almost exactly like an Overlord when those guys were like, yeah, we'll fuck with the Tower of Nazareth. We'll be fine.
Yeah,
But it's like
Oh,
much more
yeah.
extended.
Yeah.
Way more extended. and
Also, I don't
Yeah.
feel bad for any of these guys. I felt bad for that one team. I felt bad for that one team because I knew the reason
yeah.
why they were
and
going in there.
Overlord.
And
And
Overlord,
Overlord,
yeah, I
yeah.
felt bad
Yeah.
for that one team. And that was it.
Yep.
Still haven't seen Overlord.
Everyone else is like, oh, this will be
you're
fine.
gonna
We can do
you're
this. And
you're
it's
in
like,
for a treat.
I mean, it is what it is. We have had a whole set of stuff.
I do actually recommend the dub for that too.
We have had a whole set of stuff that we have sat down and been like, I don't feel sorry for these guys at all.
Nope.
We are relishing in their pain and their screams. Yeah.
Yep.
Trying to
Well,
remember what
they fucked
happens to
around.
those who are
Relish for
still
a hot-
They're
outside the
fucking
dungeon.
around.
Don't worry, we'll get to that soon. We will get to what happens to them outside the dungeon because everything gets wrapped up inside and outside the dungeon. I believe everything gets wrapped up this volume. So
With how much is left, yeah, that's not surprising.
I think
This is really just Schadenfreude of the chapter.
yeah, it is. I think we should, and I'm pushing to see if we can get done with volume 14 this month. I'm trying to see if we
should
can
be
get
able
done
to.
with volume 14 this month.
Where were we start? What page did we start on when we did this?
Oh,
It was like 190 something in Bookwalker, and we are now on 244.
I think it was 209 in Kindle. Let me put it back up real
182,
quick.
and now we're at 227. So
That's about 50 pages, and we didn't even go a little longer too.
well, that's because
I don't
we
know.
were goofing off, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As
I
we
mean, if we
do.
don't goof off,
We
that probably
schmoof
adds
it.
like another 10 pages. But even still, I don't know. That's
No,
gonna be
because we
close.
goofed off for a while in the beginning too. Like if we were to actually start on time, guys, we would probably do quite a bit.
But it's so much more fun to goof off.
It is.
It is more fun when we
And
get. To
and
do
I
It
it.
is.
also want to get your opinion, and I want to get the chat's opinion on what do you guys think about like when we stop at like certain places and do like share our thoughts and opinions on like certain, because I actually
yeah.
like doing that of like, hey, if we stop at like a certain place and we just talk about this, because it's like, holy crap, some shit just went down. Let's talk about it.
It's like
Let's
And
talk
It's like
about it.
watching a
Because
movie.
like
Sometimes
and
we
not
do
discussing
stop
it.
it
It's
anyway,
hard to
so it
remember
does kind of
every
nice. That's
Because,
more
like,
structured.
sometimes.
instead of
So
us
it's
like,
like-
I mean, we're gonna goof off, and that's part of our charm is we're gonna
Yeah.
goof off. But like,
Part of the fun.
it's part of the fun. It's like, dude,
It'd
if
be
we
boring
were
if
just,
we didn't.
Exactly, it'd be boring if we didn't. Which is
Mhm.
why
Yeah.
I'm like, let it be, let us be us.
Yep.
But I also want us like have us share our thoughts and like share our opinions about stuff that we're reading over, and like, guys, what'd you think about this? This is really cool. And it's like stuff like, and I also appreciate when we talk about like our performances for these things, like with Shim doing Zegian, like holy shit. And when you guys were
Oh,
like,
man.
Good Zegian. That was
yeah,
really
that was a really good
And then when you
Zegian.
did Adelman,
Yeah, you guys talking
Yeah.
about my
That was a fun-
Adelman.
It's fun.
Y'all
Yeah,
were like, oh
it's
my
fun.
god,
I
yeah,
like it.
because
I will.
It's
Shim
fun
it-
to
or-
voice
and
villain.
to be-
If it makes you feel better, I
honest-
actually did forget about the Skeletor thing.
Yeah, yeah, that was the whole
Yeah,
reason.
I
but
did,
it's-
genuinely
I
did
didn't.
until
I
they
was
brought it
thinking
up.
that
and
the
then-
whole
I
time.
did.
Yeah.
I
But,
did the Adelman
again,
that way because
it
I
worked.
forgot about Skeletor, like 100%. But I love
Yeah,
it.
No,
but
no,
it
no.
has
What
been-
you
like,
did was
the way
perfect.
you did it, it's like, yes, the real Adelman has come out to play.
The real Adam, like he just dropped it, and you know what? I may just do
Yeah,
that
and
as
he's-
Adelman going
I think it's the
forward.
other way around. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that,
Good way to do it.
this is the act, and the Skeletor version is the real him. It's like, finally, I could drop that act of being the Grim Reaper all the time. It's so annoying.
I mean, it's more just a thing of like when he's in battle mode, it's serious time, and I
Oh,
need to
yeah.
kill you.
Definitely.
Yeah, he's just
And
like,
when he's
Definitely.
just chilling out, it's
I
I've
didn't
done
know-
well.
It's,
all
it's
along.
Papyrus
I was-
versus his
The
realistic
thing,
Just
is,
speed
the
out.
thing is, I'm trying to make like conscious choices, like in it live as I'm trying to do this. Like that's
You have
like
to.
here's the thing. I'm live in real time trying to make conscious decisions on like, should I be wispy with the voice or should I not? Like I'm trying to read it, but I'm also like at the same time I'm trying to like, okay, because there's no director. There's no director for
Yeah.
this shit, guys.
You are your own director in some of these.
Fuck, I missed the stream. Did Zegian show off
Yeah.
here? Zegian did not show off
Yeah,
here
he
yet,
did.
Ryuma.
Not yet.
Not
He was
yet.
here,
Oh.
He
but
talked.
we haven't
He
seen
talked.
his
We
battle.
had
will,
some.
though.
We
We
had
had
some
a
talk.
little. We got the prelay for him.
We didn't
Don't
get.
worry.
We haven't gotten to Zegian yet. That's coming up. That's coming up. You haven't
Plus, you
missed
still
it
have the
yet.
vlogs too. Even
We
if you
will
did. You
get
could
to
go
the
back
vlogs.
and watch
We
that.
will get to the
afterwards.
vlogs. There are vlogs that are on
vlogs.
Twitch, and we will try and get them up on YouTube soon, if I can remember the fucking password.
Yes.
No, Shem had dialogue as Zegian, and he did a fucking amazing job at that voice. I really like it.
Thank you.
Probably gonna cast
Yeah.
you as Zegian if we get to him.
Um,
I mean, if we ever get to season
Yeah.
3, we might finally get the fucking dungeon.
Which will be
Yeah.
fun.
I'm curious about who
Oh
you
my
would-
god!
who you would
Oh my
cast
god! That
Akito
reminds me.
and
That
Kumara.
reminds me. We've
Yeah.
got a new chapter of Slime this month because new month came out. New
oh.
chapter of Slime.
Yeah.
Mm.
Zegian is honestly one of your favorites among Reamer's group. That is a beast. Yes, Zegian's a full on
He's so
fucking
cool.
beast. Zegian, like,
You get a picture of him in this book too, and he's
yeah.
like,
Oh, dude,
Really good
dude.
picture.
Oh no, you think that's cool? There's a
He's so
picture of
cool.
him. There's a
we
picture of
bring
him
the
in
picture
the later
up?
book. There's a picture of him in a later
Yeah.
book. Oh boy,
yeah,
you want to see what he looks
Oh.
like later?
dude, he's
Cool.
he's basically, you know, that mech in Gurren Lagann that the Spiral King wielded, the Rasengan. He looks very similar to that, and it
I
like,
kinda
I kind of
he's so
thought that was
cool.
his
He
core,
looks
too,
kind
to
of
be
like
honest.
he looks kind of like Guyver.
Also, does it have a face?
Yeah,
It looks
yeah.
like it has a face
yeah,
on
it
it.
does.
Yeah.
The Zengon has a face. Yeah, he has like the mouth and the scowling,
That
eyes.
having been said, though.
Yeah, but the core
Zegian
looking
doesn't have
thing
that. He has a
looked like it had a
visor.
face on it.
That
Yeah.
having been
No,
said,
Zegian has a.
that having been
Yeah,
said,
sorry.
though, guys,
Go back
thank
to
you
that.
so much. It's kind of late.
Mhm.
I don't want to keep
Yep.
everybody up. I know it's late for everyone else.
Yeah, I gotta go to work tomorrow.
For the people that have to go to bed early, that have or reasonable times,
Mm.
all that stuff. Don't want to keep them up when they have to get to bed for work related reasons. But for those of you that stuck around with us, thank you so much. Once again,
Yeah, thank you.
Once again, thank you guys a lot for coming and hanging out with us. There will be more streaming content coming up pretty soon. Stand by. We're getting the schedule all worked out and finagled. We don't know exactly what it all is looking like right now, so keep an eye out on the Discord, guys. Please keep your eyes on our Discord. There is now on the Discord a streaming channel that you need to keep an eye on. Streaming announcements. It's not just for me and GB. It's going to be for other people too. So keep an eye on that. It's content announcements for when we post content on the channel. Streaming announcements for when people are streaming on the channel. Server announcements, of course, for when stuff is happening on the server. And we are going to be adding some stuff as well. So keep an eye on the Discord. There are going to be new channels or new things and updates added to the channel, and reactions are going to be there is a channel for when reactions are added on there too. So we're always working to update that Discord server. So keep an eye on that. And we've done a lot to improve the channel. It's a lot more active. So make sure to come by and check that out. Really, really appreciate it. And of course, once again, One Piece Alabasta Abridged movie, the 1 hour long movie with all the added content from all 4 episodes packed into one package, is now up on our Patreon. If you would like to see that immediately, you can go over to our Patreon right now. All tiers, it is available for all tiers. So if you would like to check it out, you can for just $1 at the lowest tier. But if you'd like to support us for a little bit more, you're welcome to do that, and we'd greatly appreciate it. But
Very much so.
but if all you can give is $1, we understand. But if you can't help with that, you can just wait a little bit longer as the copyright stuff sorts itself out, and then we put it up on YouTube later. So there we go. That is how things are moving so far. Don't ask me about Slime 9. I don't know how that's going. I'm waiting on Calvin. That having been said, thank you very much. I will see you guys
Thank
soon.
you.
Appreciate you guys.
And for everyone who's new, welcome aboard.
Yeah.
Welcome. Yeah, we had a
you
couple
guys.
followers today
Yeah, a
as
couple
well.
new people here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Love you all for hanging out with us for this long. And we'll see you next week for more slime right here. And of course, come by on Sunday for Anime Church with me and Moon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.